Hey everyone, and welcome to RezoCast episode 131. This is Lego, and I've got with me Hove, Triton, Wilson, and Mana this week with us here. We've got the Revelry still going on. It's the third week of the Curse Week if you're trying to do PvE stuff, and we got some news this week in the TWAB for PvP that's pretty big. I am curious to talk to everyone about it because I've been like staying off the internet the past like 24 hours because Endgame is out and none of us have gone to go see it yet, and so I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just staying away from all that. I have like all my spoilers in Twitter, like everything, just like don't show me this, don't show me that. But I'm nervous on the internet right now.
Little do you know that all the words chosen for word insertion are spoilers because I've seen it already and you guys haven't. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, well, I did something big this week. I went and soloed Shattered Throne by myself last night. I didn't have anything else going on, and I was like, well, Revelry is going on.
You didn't solo it with anybody else?
No. Hi, I see what you're doing. I see.
You know who
hanging out in the party?
Do you know who could have soloed it?
You?
Juan Claude Van Damme. That's Jean Claude's brother.
Oh, okay.
Distant relative.
Yeah.
That's a good setup for that.
Thank you.
That was
actually pretty good.
I thought he was gonna go with the community in some way, but no, that's good. I tried actually to do the perfect, like, flawless solo on it, but it was like I didn't know the bosses well enough. I couldn't even remember. I was like, how do I kill the ogre again? I know you have to like kill them in some order or something, and so I died I died immediately. But I made it up to that point, you know, and so I was like, okay, I think I had like 12 deaths overall. I was like, I could do this, not knowing anything, you know. I think it's possible, especially chunking infinite grenades.
You beat it with just 12 deaths? That's not bad.
Yeah, I didn't think it was bad either. I felt like I got the last boss down in like maybe 3 deaths, and I felt really good about that. It was mainly the ogre. That is tough. Like, the way that the ogre shoots you in that and like pushes you up against the wall, like it keeps you from like doing stuff, it can be really difficult.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Sounds like sexual harassment.
So when you die in that, you got to start like all over, right?
No. You just start at the beginning of the boss. Yeah.
Okay. Even solo. All right.
It's if you're going for the flawless solo.
Yeah,
then you
want to get the
start
flawless solo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Triumph.
So I don't know if I have the patience for that yet, but just doing it solo for me as mainly a PvP player, like that felt huge to be able to do that. So
Heck yeah.
Hove, how was your week this week?
I drove a lot.
Did you've been playing more Division 2? I know you've been big into that lately.
I played a decent bit. I haven't the last few days, just because I mean, there's still more I could do, but I finished like the title basin, which doesn't mean anything to you, at World Tier, because you don't play it, at World Tier 5, and I think the raid comes out today or tomorrow. So I'll jump back.
Like a big man raid, like a lot of people.
It's only for the biggest of mans. Yeah. It's a big man. It's a big boy raid.
No, for real though, isn't there like more people, or am I thinking Anthem or something?
No, it's 8 people.
Oh, okay.
So that comes out soon. I'll be playing that. I had to drive all over, like, all of Pennsylvania the last week. But I ate at some cool places, and I saw a goat with a soccer ball today.
I was trying to figure out what that picture was. Okay, that's what I was supposed to get out of that.
Yeah, well, it was a picture of a goat with a soccer ball.
Did it like have its foot on the soccer ball?
No, but it was like, we were at this restaurant. We were out in the middle of nowhere, but there's like a resort out there, like a, you know, kind of, you're out in the middle of nowhere, resort spa, but it's nice. It's like expensive. It's rich people, you know. So we went to this restaurant that's like kind of famous. And for whatever reason, we were leaving, and the guy I work with was like, "Is that a fucking goat over on the other side of the parking lot?" And I was like, "I don't know. Let's go find out." So we drove up to it, and it was like this goat was like used to like tourists, I think, because he was like minding his own business. And like as we pulled up, and my friend started putting down the window, he like stopped and like picked his head up and just looked at us and like didn't move for the entire time he was like putting the window down, getting his phone out, and while he's taking it and like zooming in, he's going, "I fucking got you now, goat." And he's taking this picture of the goat and like doesn't move, just looks at us. And then the second he put the window up and I started driving away, the goat just like put its head down and walked away again. It was like, all right, come on, get your picture, you fucking jackasses.
Yeah, supposed to put the photo up.
Yeah. And then I realized he had a soccer ball with him, so he's like, Air Bud? Air Goat?
Air goat?
Yeah. I told someone I saw a goat today, and they were like, the greatest of all time. And I was like, no, like for real, like a goat, like the animal.
Actual goat.
Yeah.
Like an animal.
It was
Fucking goat.
it was chill as fuck, as Lady said in chat. It was like the chillest. I probably could have like had a conversation with him if I had like had Wilson with me.
You should have tried to scare
Take that
it
as you
if it
will.
does the like faint fall over thing, you know?
Yeah, was it like a big goat or small goat? Like,
It's just like a regular ass goat. We named him Billy.
Regular ass goat.
It's like regular ass bird. Plant.
Yeah.
Regular.
But other than that, played some PUBG again today to get back
Oh,
into
you
that.
did?
Yeah, started playing Overwatch again. There's just so many goddamn games out.
Mm-hmm.
And Mana's playing games from 2014.
Right.
Many games and looking at more
Yeah.
games to play.
I also restarted. Ooh, one last thing. Do you remember whenever I like started that playthrough of God of War and I tried putting it on Give Me God of War, and because I meant to start a new game plus where you have all your shit, you know, all your cool stuff and
Wait,
weapons.
Give me God of War. Is that like
The hardest.
That's like bring me Thanos mode?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I accidentally didn't start a new game plus, so it was just like the hardest one where I had like no abilities, and I'm not patient enough because it requires like waiting for attacks and blocking and all that, and I just swing shit. So it took me like an hour for each encounter, which should be like a minute. So I quit, and then the other day I was like, I'm gonna try this again, and I did a new game plus, but I put it on the one just under Give Me God of War. And I didn't have to block at all. I was powerful enough I could just go through it. So I was like, oh, no, let's try this. Like, New Game Plus and a level lower is too easy. So I'm going to put it back on too. And each time you start a New Game Plus, you have to start over. Mm-hmm. So I started over and I was like, I'll do New Game Plus on Give Me God of War because that'll be all right. Yeah, it's fucking hard, and I fucking quit again. So, go ahead.
Dude, on the second hardest difficulty, and
That's what I'm on now.
I was questioning my decisions at
But
first.
not a New Game Plus, right?
No. I haven't started New Game Plus.
Yeah,
So.
New Game Plus is, you have... Sorry spoilers, but you have the Blades of Chaos already. You have all your, like, runes and shit unlocked. Like, so...
Yeah, you just carry your character on to the next, like, to redo it, so...
That's how I feel about the difficulty on Mortal Kombat 11, the highest difficulty.
Oh.
Got me some Mortal Kombat 11 action in this week,
Nice.
dude. And Scorpion is fucking dope, dude. He's
Nice.
so good. I absolutely love it. So what's cool about this one, I don't know if you guys played 10 or just like the overall evolution of Mortal Kombat. So in 10, you had these, you could save up these like energy bars to do what was like an X-ray attack, where when you would strike them, it would show an X-ray of like the bones breaking, all that good Mortal Kombat stuff.
That good.
But the problem is that people would never use those energy bars for like their special moves, like teleport punches, air throws, just all kinds of different stuff that you can make those moves more powerful. They just save them up for the X-ray. So now they're called a fatal blow. And it doesn't take like your EX like energy bar to do so. So it like encourages people to like it plays a lot different. It's like Mortal Kombat 10 was like, in my opinion, like almost the perfect Mortal Kombat, and this one is like my favorite of all time. Like, I've played every single one of them like as they've come out, and not only is like the netcode seems really good compared to 10 right now. I've jumped into some online matches, and the story mode is phenomenal. So much lore, so many cutscenes. It's like a Metal Gear Solid movie, dude. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
And then on top of that, there's like all this shit that you can unlock, like different skins and like stuff that you can equip that like augments perks and stuff, and then you can like re-roll them and shit. It's fucking crazy, dude. I'm having a blast with it. And I haven't stopped playing anything but Scorpion because I want to unlock all the shit for him, like all the skins and like the masks and katanas and stuff like that. Like, he's got 2 katanas, and you can even like customize down to like what his spear looks like when he does the like get over here like
Oh, that's
thing.
sweet.
Yeah, like there's all these like wild different rarity item ones like legendary and stuff like that. It's really cool. So it's cool to see it take almost like a loot approach.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It reminds me of that.
It's really cool, and it gives you reason to grind, and you can do these things called towers, where some of them are set, and then there's these like one that are called time towers, because the theme is like time travel in this one, and so it's like ever changing, and there's like modifiers. So there's this one, it's like a fart modifier, where if you tap up on the right stick, like a cloud of gas comes out from the side of the screen and like makes them all like stunned and shit, and you can like move in and do some combos and stuff. And there's like ones where you can like summon other players, like Sub-Zero can come in and like throw like a freeze ball for you real quick, and so it's pretty cool. Like there's a lot to do, a lot to grind for, and those like time towers like change every day, and like some of them are changing like every couple of hours.
Wow.
And there's all these different rewards, like things that you can craft for consumables while going into those towers that give you those like kind of advantages and stuff like that.
So
it's insane.
Two points from that you made me think of. One, so what you're saying is even Mortal Kombat is becoming a looter.
Kind of, yeah. Like,
and that brings me.
I haven't dived too much into it, but yes.
Okay, that brings me to kind of my second point. You've done these like towers some though, at least.
Yeah, that's where I've spent the majority of my time.
I've already seen people complaining, like, second day, that they're too hard and too grindy. How much of that do you think is true, and how much of that do you think is people who maybe not are used to looter shooters and that type of game who are just like, what the fuck? Like, this is not what I... Do you know what I mean? Like, that they're just not used to that.
The grind I like, because it's not like you're all in for like an hour. Like, so it'll be like a group, you go to a set of towers, and there's like a small one where it starts you off with like 2 or 3 battles, and you win that and you like get rewarded for it, and you can bounce out right then and then come back and do the next tower as long as that time trial is still like available and stuff like that. So the grind, I don't really have a complaint about it. Like, sure, it'd be cool to get like more coins always because you burn through them so quickly, but the challenge, there's definitely a few fights where I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, they have 4 times as much health. There's like these chomping skull heads that come across the floor and like chunk like a good like 1.5 inches of your health away if you don't block, and like you'd be in the middle of like the combo of your fucking life, dude. Like just chipping away tiny little chunks of health at like this character, and then like that head will come by and like fuck your combo up and
so
like stun you or something. So some of the stuff is really hard, but I think you have to pick and choose those battles, and that's what those are consumables are for. You can stack them and have like multiple ones. Like I could have like a fart spray and then Sub-Zero come in, and then like my own little chompy head going across the bottom of the screen.
Are you saying you think it's more like these complaints are more just that these are people who aren't used to that type of thing, or do you really think the grind's that bad?
I think they're trying a new thing, and they probably have a few minor adjustments that need to be made to the formula, but people also need to just kind of get used to the idea of like they're trying something new. And everyone that I've talked to that's played it has like really been enjoying it, because like it is cool. It's not like I'm just gonna go in, like if I finish the story, that pretty much leaves like couch co-op versus and online play. Like now I have like these towers and like all this stuff. I'm enjoying it. People complaining, yeah, I probably think that they're just not used to like this new,
like coming from like looters type of thing.
Yeah, for sure. And like it's not necessary. Like you can definitely, like a lot of it is cosmetics, but like you could like, if you wanted to, I'm pretty sure you could like augment the same like stock costume stuff, you know what I mean? Like if you just want to go the extra mile and get like the flaming scorpion mask or like the Frost Sub-Zero one or something and just like look cooler, it's dope as hell. If you're remotely interested in Mortal Kombat, I think it's amazing.
I'm kind of, but I always used to suck at those type of games.
Like me, man.
That's what everyone in chat is saying right now too. They're all scared of it. They're like, I don't know.
I'm tempted though because it looks so cool.
Well, so actually, real quick, not everyone's saying that. Lady and I are talking about whether we enjoy the head or don't enjoy the head.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm just like...
And Sam said Wilson was scared of the head.
That's kind of fucked up.
Wilson's face after you pointed that out too. He was like, "Anyway, again, man, I'm sorry." Wow. Whew. Things got serious as fuck.
So have you been playing all the other like Mortal Kombats leading up to it?
Yeah, totally.
Like, I feel like I don't know if it's real, but like, are they upping like the gruesomeness of the finishers? Like, I think like
100%.
every game they try to like one up the game every single time.
The best finisher of all time is in the game, and so the boss is Chronica, who's like the keeper of time, and she's trying to basically rewrite a history where there are no elder gods. Raiden can't interfere because Raiden's kind of like a bad guy. Now, not really a bad guy, he's a good guy, like an ends justify the means kind of good guy.
Kind of going rogue type dude, do whatever.
Yeah, he's kind of going rogue, breaking some rules and shit.
So he's Thanos.
Kinda, yeah.
You don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. You're just agreeing.
Thanos is
Wilson's in the know.
Chaotic good now, kind of, or
No, I mean he's like the main villain, but like the gist of it is he's trying to like there's not enough resources across the universe, so like his ends he think justify the means.
Who Thanos is? Does he not know?
He doesn't watch. No.
Watch the.
I'm not a Marvel.
Wow, man, it's almost like you're not here all the time.
So Wilson's safe
I'm just
tonight.
surprised that after all of us talk about Marvel stuff, he doesn't know.
I'll find safe, funny things to DM you guys that are off the internet, so you can get your fix that are spoiler free. That way, you guys,
All
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Well, good thing
Send
I
some
was,
links.
I don't check the chat for weeks, so I'll be good by the time I see it.
It's
You guys
true.
are shutting my shit down.
Man, there really are so many games out right now with you talking
It's
about
ridiculous.
that, and,
A ton of games.
so many things. Mana, Hope mentioned you jumping back a few years this week. How's that been in Destiny 1?
So it's actually kind of funny because not only did you say jumping back, I've been playing two different games right now that are one's from like 2010 and that I've been playing, which is the Mountain Blade. It's so old, but it's so addicting. But yeah, me and James jumped into D1 a few days ago. It was kind of like one of those just like random. I don't know. We did that raid like a month ago,
Right.
and we kind of been just randomly jumping back in just to stream a couple hours of like Crucible. So we decided to jump into elimination just because we kind of miss trials, you know? And you can still find people. You can find a decent amount of people. Eventually got to the point where we weren't finding anyone anymore. We're like, did everyone just stop playing? So we just had like chat just stream snipe us. Like whoever has D1 just stream snipe us. And we were just playing with chat. And it was so much fun.
Yeah.
I jumped back on my Titan and I went back to scumbag, just shoulder charge every possible person I possibly could find. And I miss that. One thing I forgot. Okay, so I don't really play a lot of D2 right now, but now you spawn with special ammo.
Yeah.
At least a couple rounds of special ammo.
Yes, you don't have it.
D1, you don't spawn with it
awful.
at all. Like you spawn initially, like with your first life, you spawn with it. After that, there's nothing, and it was rough.
If you private match Mayhem though, don't you get special ammo?
Special.
Am I wrong?
Special ammo here.
I don't know where that came from.
That was hot.
Well, here's a question, man. I'm curious your thoughts on. What do you think is more fun, going back and playing D1, or covering yourself in yum yum sauce?
Oof.
There is a correct answer here.
Now, see,
Like
there's a
rolling
possibility
around
that
in, like,
you
a
might
big-
be able to. Okay, can I give you a sampler platter of what I do?
Yeah.
Variety.
So
Okay.
I would partially cover myself in yum yum sauce. Okay, and then go back and play D1. But you can't.
Ooh, so
fully
you do
it
both,
because-
right? Because you got like clean hands, and like
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was gonna be my
you know.
question.
Well-
Top half or bottom half?
Middle.
yeah, mid, yeah.
Ooh, a nice
Just the whole
equilibrium.
Well,
yeah.
section.
The
Because,
big
like,
thing,
okay, so-
the biggest thing though,
wants
you got to
to
be
cover the
careful
important
with
parts.
is once you are done with the yum yum sauce, you have to make sure to really clean it off, or else you'll end up with fungus in a bunch of places you don't want
You
to.
might grow like polyps and stuff all over your
Don't
place.
Yeah.
ruin yum
It's
yum
gross,
sauce for
dude.
me. Don't.
Yeah. Don't
It's
like.
so
And
good.
Then you end up getting a colonoscopy.
Let's go
Been too
back to
much
just
flat
yum yum
chips,
sauce
yeah.
on mana. That was good.
It's dangerous. It's a dangerous combination, but at the end of the day, you feel like you accomplished something.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Just so you know, I hate you guys don't want me to point it out, but Mana didn't know what words I was giving him. This was all we just fucking killed it. I just want you to know we just had a almost coherent conversation with like all of our words.
Pretty good. And for those who don't know, who have maybe never listened to the show or haven't been on episodes where we've done it, but we are playing word insertion where we all text each other some words that we have to insert into the conversation somewhere without.
Next time you do some D1 shit, Mana, hit me up.
All right, deal.
I'm down to.
Yeah, I might jump back into it this weekend sometime. I've actually been craving a little bit more D1 because all my weapons that I'm so used to still, I still got it with most of the weapons still.
Okay, I have a challenge for you, Mana, because I'm curious what it feels like, because a lot of people talk about going back playing D1 and how great it is, but like for me, coming in and playing private matches in D2 is normally just as fun as like in my mind anyway, because I actually start with special ammo, that kind of stuff, and so I'm curious if you do that for a little while and then get a group of friends and play a private match in D2 and tell me what feels better. Like I'm curious what
feels off and on.
It's one thing to go into quick play with Not Forgottens and Lunas right now, and it's another to like say, hey, let's all use sniper rifles or whatever SMGs.
Let's do that.
Yeah, do the craps and giggles type deal. Yeah.
Throw some space noodles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
space noodles.
Is that a type of sword or?
No, man, those are Axion bolts. You know what I'm saying? Little space noodles.
Okay.
I've never heard it called. Was that a ding ding?
Yeah.
It's a legit term that all the sweats are using now.
All the sweats are using, yeah.
Don't let him space noodle me, bro. Like it's.
Can we start that? Can we?
Copyright it. Space noodles.
Definitely. I'm gonna start saying that in Wilson, you got to.
Wilson.
Comp, just when you're
Wilson got the special ammo.
He's got that southern twang. This is sweet.
It's kind of hot.
It is very hot.
So Wilson, whenever you're playing with your next comp team, you just need to start yelling out like, "I wet noodled them" or something.
Noodle.
What are you thinking about?
Wet noodle them.
I was thinking about pasta. I don't know.
I never wet noodle someone on the first match. It's always game 2 at least.
It's always the rematch.
I'm just saying. The night we went out for the DCP after party, Wilson definitely tried to wet noodle me afterwards.
Oh,
he had a couple of drinks.
Twice. Dang.
Yeah. I was wearing, my outfit. Yeah, never mind.
Man, how's the rest of your week been? Have you done?
Still haven't really jumped into D2 at all.
Hey, you played some Destiny. I'm proud of you.
I played. Yeah, I guess D1 is Destiny, right?
Yeah.
It's old Destiny, but it's Destiny. But
it was for science.
Outside of that, dude, guys, I ran a mile.
All right.
I saw that.
On Tuesday, I ran a mile, and I'm still sore.
I might have run a mile this year.
This year?
Total. Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah.
No, dude, this is the first time I ran a mile without stopping, though. And maybe before D1 even was a thing.
Dang.
And it feels good. It feels bad right now because like I'm sore as fuck and I can't actually exit my chair. But it feels good knowing that I can do that. And like every day I've worked out since. And now I'm just uncomfortably sore right now. Like every angle that if you see me jittering, I'm trying to find like a comfortable position.
Oh, I thought you were just on drugs. Did you finish Spider-Man yet?
No. No, I didn't. I haven't. I have not yet. It's bad. I've been jumping back and forth between a lot of games just because I don't know. Yeah. It's just like nothing can really hold me over right now. You know, like I go back, I play some Mountain Blade for a little bit, then I play random D1. And yesterday, me and my one roommate went through and we viewed just like 20 different games now that I all want, and they're all on my like wish list now on Steam. It's just city building sims again. Why
don't you just get a PlayStation or a Sega Genesis Classic thingy? Do it.
Deal.
Okay. We'll play Echo the Dolphin together.
Echo the Dolphin. Is it co-op? Can you play co-op?
I don't think you can play anything on their co-op. I'm not even sure Al Gore had invented the internet yet.
Oh,
no,
right.
I'm pretty sure there's some co-op games on there. Like there has to. I think it comes to
you can be a shark.
Well, yeah, but like Mana and I can't play. It's not like online.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't live that far away. Mana could come visit, but he doesn't.
But I won't.
He could go see Endgame.
PA scares me.
Oh yeah, true. Endgame tickets tomorrow for Mana.
Or try anybody if anyone wants to come with me.
I got the works in the morning, man.
Just call off.
I can't do it this soon ahead though.
Just call in and tell him you got a bad case of
so
the
my
wet
dispatch
noodles.
manager is on her own
the
for like
space
one of the
noodle.
first times.
Dang it.
I can't leave her alone.
You can. When she says, "Listen, here's what you do," I know how to like. They'll be fine with it. What's her name?
Lori.
Lori. When she said like, "Lori, I can't come to work today," say it real serious. When she was like, "Why not? What's wrong?" Just say, "Lori, we're in the end game now," and hang up the phone.
Hang up.
She'll go, respect. And
She shakes her head and is like, "That was one ballsy move. I respect it."
We're in the end
we
game
need
now.
to get him into management.
Calls up my boss. He's like, "Boss, I don't know what to do. There's like 400 boxes here, but Thomas can't come in." He's like, "Why is that?" He's in the end game now. He's like, shit. He's just like, shit. What do we do?
All right.
There's like random big ass explosion in the background.
No, they just keep sending it up the ladder to the next higher.
It goes to corporate.
Yeah, all the way up to fucking CEO.
But Mr. Such and Such, we don't know what to do with all this freight. Why? Our dock worker can't come in. Why is that? He's in the end game.
He can't even say it with a straight face.
That's totally gonna be the title of this episode.
That is a good
We're in the
idea,
end game
actually.
now.
Yeah, it is a good idea.
But no, for real, I'm terrified of the internet though. Just saying, because of it. I can't watch it until next week.
Yeah, of course. Triton, you're holding off till when are you going to see it?
Saturday night.
Oh, okay, night. So
Yeah.
us Saturday. Oh, okay, cool. We're close. Triton, you also hit up D2 this week. Did you hit up any other games as well?
Mostly D2, but let me just say though, since Hove and I were talking, that the Steelers did go up and get Devin Bush. So
Did
that was
they?
a good move on their part. Yeah, they got him at 10 ahead of the Bengals.
No
just now.
shit.
I have no idea
Sorry.
what that means.
So they jumped up to get
Sports
Devin
ball.
Bush, cost us the second round pick in the 20. Obviously, next year's third. But
Hey,
still
you
get
know
it
who the
back.
last people they traded up that far for? Not even that far, but Santonio Holmes, Troy Polamalu.
Holmes. I mean, yeah, they traded up to get some good guys. So very excited about that. If you are a Steelers fan, good news for them. But yeah, did jump on D2 and played actually a lot this week. I'm pretty happy because I've been here and I've talked a lot about I don't want to say I've been displeased, but it's been a little bit unrewarding to kind of move my light level. I've been playing, probably 2 hours at a time. So I played enough to actually move my light level. I think from like 652 to 660. So
Nice.
that's a fair amount for me to play this week. And I did play a lot of Gambit Prime because I've been trying to get those. I think it's the Sentinel set, the one that sends the when you send a blocker over, it starts draining their. That's the Sentinel, right? That starts draining. Which one drains their modes? Is it?
If you're,
I have a little. I have like a little bit of every piece.
This
So,
podcast doesn't
draining
play enough
theirs-
Gambit.
is Invader by going over there, but as far as sending someone,
Well, isn't if you send over a blocker, it could start draining their modes banked. Which set is that?
that's
Is that
just
Invader?
in general if you send 2 blockers over. But
Okay, so
not
well,
sure.
good. I got like 2 of every piece of the armor so
Nice,
far, so I've been
yeah.
trying to upgrade that. But I'll tell you, whoever I'm getting paired with, or just maybe it's the time of day, I'm just gonna say me. I'm terrible at completing the reckoning. I think I tweeted it. I'm right around like 20% completion rate. So I think I've done like 4 out of 20. We've actually finished it at 650, mind you. So tier 1. It just, I think people drop in and out. Sometimes it drops me in a game at like 3 minutes to get the dominance done. Sometimes someone will leave if they don't think we're getting it, and then it doesn't really. It just, there's a lot of that, which is a little frustrating. So we never got a lot of them done, and that stunk because I tried to get another one of those helmets that would kind of also increase the synthesizer. So a lot of those types of things. But I have been enjoying playing the game, even though it's been mostly solo. I think I took enough time off where just, again, the gunplay or just kind of getting back in the routine of things was fun enough to do it myself. So for the most part, I've enjoyed the probably 4 hours I played D2. Haven't had time to play much of anything else. But I think some people hit me up on Twitter, so maybe I try to connect with them in the next week or so if it works out to kind of play some of the other modes, or at least do some of those other things. Like I know, Hove has talked a lot about when you have to build the game for somebody. And I think, I've built on, we talked about, I appreciate that they are trying to do those things, but it is kind of like a love hate in that I love the fact that they've picked a direction, they picked a player base that they want to target. But as someone who now doesn't have a lot of people to play with at like 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is a little rough for some of those things. But, it is what it is. I've done a lot of strikes, and I've tried to like finish out maybe some quest pieces or maybe chase something I didn't have done before. So, it is cool. I mean, for the 4 hours, although like I said, the reckoning, it did reach a point of frustration. I think 4 of 20, that sucks. It's just not that fun. But I've liked Gambit Prime more that I've played it, even though it's solo. I think because I haven't gotten any of those ties anymore. I either lose or we're winning. So the fact
like when you started that and you had a tie, I was like really thrown off by that. Well, it's something I had never seen one in Gambit Prime. Like I was just thrown off.
It was a long game, but now it's really fast one way or another. It's like 8 minutes, and I usually get like whatever synth out of it that maybe however I chose to play that game. So it's cool.
That's cool.
So yeah. I still haven't done any of those stories though. I haven't done any of those. The last time we talked about the 9 bounties that advance the story, I haven't been able to do any of that because weekends are a little bit harder to play than the weekday. But I'm hoping to maybe try one of those maybe soon.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Triton, I mean, I know you play at funky hours, but whenever you get on, you should just text me, man. I'd love to jump in with you, do some tier 2 reckoning or like some more difficult stuff and stick in there with you.
Same, man. If I got like a
rain
day or something, just throw something out in group chat, and if I happen to have a rain day, I'll hop on.
Yeah,
exactly. For sure.
I probably will not do that.
Appreciate the honesty.
I work Monday through Friday.
That's right. Appreciate the honesty.
It's funny because this season's been weird because I feel like at the beginning of it, Triton, I was more like where you are right now. I guess because I put a lot of hours into it initially. I kind of feel like I'm over Gambit. Like I know it's fun. I just have no incentive to like want to go in there. Like I kind of wanted the sniper rifle from that, and that's kind of like it. And I don't really like. I played all the different kinds of reckoning, and that was fun. But now that I've experienced it, I'm kind of like done, and I don't really have like any desire. I do to like play with my friends, you know, but that's kind of it. And so I don't know, like I'm kind of like making up. I'm at the point of this season where I'm kind of just like making up stuff. The Iron Banners this week, I don't even want anything to do with it.
Yeah, not with the nades and stuff.
Especially with the nades. That really makes me, on one hand, it makes me not want to play more, and then on the other hand, I'm like, what PvE activity could I break right now? And that's what made me go do the throne solo, because I was like, well, this is my best chance to get something done by myself, is I can throw unlimited grenades. So just ran in there and did it, and it worked pretty well. And
That's
so I'm trying to think of like, what's my next thing that I could do that, I wouldn't normally be able to do that could be fun.
I mean, making challenges for yourself. I mean, again, yeah, this definitely is a game at this point where you definitely want to play with friends, as much as you can, to still enjoy those things. It's not to say that the game, solo has been bad. I mean, for essentially a 5-year-old game, I'm still having a lot of fun. And I have, acquiesced on the fact that it's like, well, if I'm only going to put in 4 hours, I can't expect to like progress my light level ridiculously and things like that. So, it's both, it's like, just like I said, it's like a love-hate on that. So I haven't gotten into any PvP, honestly. I think it's because I like playing it mostly with friends. There's a couple things I need. I'm at that point for the Thorn quest where I have to do it. I'm at another point for like the Drifters, kill like 25 guys in the Crucible for some weapon or something from this season that I haven't done. But it's always like the nades, or I'll see on Twitter, it's like, oh, it's so stale, or I was using Wave Splitter forever, which obviously is no longer a thing. Because
it's still good, actually. It's still pretty good.
There were things like that. So I don't know. It just, I haven't really felt like I wanted to go back in and play a lot of PvP. Especially, I don't want to do that solo in the middle of the day and just get frustrated, and that'd be like my feelings for the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, I definitely, I feel you. I think a lot of people are at that place in the Crucible, which I think I want to just go ahead and transition. Hovind, I sounded like you had something to add earlier.
Well, it's not really to add. It's kind of a different topic. It is gaming related. It was something I thought was important-ish, but it's not really Destiny. So do you want to do it now?
Yeah.
So this isn't to relate specifically to Bungie or Destiny, or every time there's been a content drought or they haven't fixed something or whatever, but I don't know if anyone saw, and I forget if it was, Kotaku or Polygon or whoever, but there was another article that came out about crunch and how bad things are at Epic where Fortnite is made because of crunch. They've had people fired, supposedly. People were fired for taking, even though they get unlimited time off, they took a weekend off. Whatever project their team was working on, the deadline got missed, they got fired. People working 75, 100-hour weeks, being miserable, all that. And it really made me think that, because, I mean, we're hearing this with, like, every big game nowadays, right?
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know if this is the reason. I can't say anything, but it also comes at a time when people are complaining about Apex Legends not making changes fast enough. And
right, yeah.
Fortnite has always been that game that everyone goes, well, why can Fortnite do it and no one else, and you can't do it? One, we've talked about many times, balancing's probably easier on there. The graphics aren't as intense, blah, blah, blah. But also, if crunch is becoming a problem at Epic as well. To be completely honest, I know not a lot of people, or maybe not a lot of people, but there are going to be people who disagree with me. But I would rather play something like, and this is just assuming again, Apex or Destiny, especially with how many damn games are out, where we don't hear about that. The devs seem happy. Like I said, I can't speak for anyone. I don't know. And we don't get stuff on our whim. As opposed to a game where, yeah, we get stuff every week, but the people who fucking work there hate it, are getting fired. Their mental health is terrible. Everything else. Because this is becoming like, you hear about this with every big game release nowadays. Yes, and I mean, that's not sustainable across the gaming industry.
And they're hit from both sides too, because they're hit from that side of like produce, and then they're also hit from the cost side of us as consumers being like, that's too expensive, and they're forced to like create, just continual product without, super fast, without any credit to them really, like rewarding them for their efforts or time off or whatever,
Not to mention we want more, and then we want it cheaper. We put a lot of us, like us as a consumer, like you were saying, and then like higher ups in corporate put a lot of pressure on them. And I don't want somebody to be miserable, because then, like, especially from an artistic, creative standpoint, if you hate your job or what you're doing, it shows in your work, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, it doesn't mean everything that happens slow is because they don't crunch, and every time someone's fast means there is crunch. This isn't a blanket thing. But I just, it sucks if you want to play this game and you love it, whatever it may be, and things aren't happening fast enough for you. But just take a minute, like, what is worse? Like, look at it as a human. Is it worse for them if they work all the time, their health takes a turn for the worst, they don't get to see their families, they're miserable, or they get that stuff out or they don't get that stuff out and they're happy, and you maybe don't get to play new stuff all the time? Like, I know it's not a 1-for-1, it's not every time, but just think about that sometimes. That's I don't know. That with Epic coming out or with them saying Epic is doing that, because Fortnite was always the game recently that everyone's comparing speed of updates to. I just, you got to imagine that most of the time that these things are happening so fast, it's because people are under stress. So, believe me, they're gonna have a lot worse of a time getting you shit to play your video game than you are not having a new thing every week in the game you like to play. Like, just chill out. So that's all.
That's a good point, Hope. I think when that first article came out that you brought up from the BioWare thing, it made me think, it's such an interesting paradigm where the community speaks so much about mental health, yet the people that they ask to constantly make all of this stuff are really in a position of having, from what we're reading, pretty poor mental health. I find it very interesting, being in sports and other spaces there that you
even physical health to a point, people getting sick and everything.
At some point, that affects your physical health. So it's odd that so many people talk about being healthy, taking care of your mind, all those things here more than other spaces such as sports or things like that I'm, kind of stepped into. Yet the people that they demand stuff from are in a position of needing those breaks physically and mentally and everything else. So good point, good call. Hopefully that people can kind of realize that the people making your game's not a robot.
And the other thing I found was interesting, again, not saying they're necessarily tied together, but, that big article came out about BioWare and Anthem, right? And we talked about that with Crunch and everything. And Triton, I know you're really the only big Anthem person here, but I saw something, whether this is because the game is in that bad a shape and they can't do anything right now, or if they're kind of like, we need to chill. But did you see they delayed their entire roadmap? I read.
Yeah, the roadmap's super delayed.
They pretty much said everything's on delay. We don't know when we're going to get to updates, right? Is that pretty much the gist of it?
Yep.
So I'm sure that's got to be some kind of mix of there's a lot of shit that's messed up, and hey, people fucking hate it here, and it's getting out. Like, we need to chill. And so I just thought the timing of that was interesting.
They were definitely going to kick back that 90-day roadmap. I'm totally fine with it. I think I've even, for the first time ever, gone on Reddit and I did kind of like correction before content article where it's like, if you could fix kind of the base, the foundation of things and take your time to make sure that everything that's implemented behind it comes in and works. And I think they're trying, so many people are like loot and content, and then it comes out and it's still in the framework that doesn't work. They're like, why does this work? I'm like, maybe we should pump the brakes, guys. Let them kind of open up the hood here and fix the things that are really a problem, the fundamental parts of the game. Then let them implement content on top of that, and then see what it's like, as opposed to pushing this new stronghold they did recently, because there's only 3 of them, and that was supposed to be their end game. And people are like, why? How come the boss is messed up in the stronghold? How come I'm like falling through walls and all this? I'm like, well, maybe they should fix all those things that happen there, then do it. And that it's a mess. And obviously, that's a big part of when we read that article, the team and the management for sure screwing all of that up. In the way that it came out. But yeah, that's another good point. That roadmap is real bad. I'm still waiting for my trophy bug fix, by the way, guys.
I saw that you commented on
I'm still waiting for it. They finally acknowledge it. One of the community managers finally did pass it on to the team. But
first step is acknowledgement.
Yeah, I'm still afraid to jump on it on console, because the whole console bug crash thing, like, is still a thing.
I don't think that I've never.
Yeah, it's still a thing. It's not a console. It's not a console brick. But the thing is, I don't want it to just turn my console off and then I lose something. A file gets corrupted or something. So that's why I still haven't jumped back in and started playing.
Back your shit up on a USB.
Back that ass up.
Back that ass up. And then,
on a USB.
Dude, I've had
Gross.
fatal errors across multiple games that have crashed my PlayStation. I've had it happen shitloads of time in Destiny. I don't necessarily think it's always a game issue. Keep in mind, my PS4 is like a launch day PS4, and it's still kicking. But once every couple of months, that shit will lock up. Apex Legends did it.
Apex,
for a while.
yeah. I was just about to say,
Apex
you know what game? You know what game still
it's
bugs my PS4? I have a PS4 Pro, brand new, 500 million edition PS4 Pro, and it bugs out, and I would have to reset it most of the time.
That hasn't. I had it happen once in the last few months, though. They've toned that down a good bit with Apex.
I had it happen 2 times across all of Apex, and granted, I haven't been playing a lot of it recently, but it was
Same.
right at the beginning, and then.
Yeah, at the beginning it was pretty bad.
It happened to Hove more than anybody that I.
No, it was just it happened to me every time. I would start out, we'd jump to a hot zone, and I would come out with 6 kills, and we'd be like, all right, let's run to this place. And as soon as I started running, it would just freeze. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Or
the one time I could have fought Hove in Apex, my game froze.
No,
It crashed my PS4.
No.
One time.
And
I
then
was with you, Dewey, and
Rally?
Maybe Marcus, maybe Rally. Yeah.
oh yeah, I think
We
so.
did shit on the rest of the team, though.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I was out about it.
Man.
Yeah, we stream sniped him. Told him, hey, we're trying to get in your game. And it worked.
And
First
I was
game.
fine.
And the best part was,
Let's go.
I didn't even say anything. We knew we had won our last game. So we were like, let's just wait and see if we're champion squad. So he's sitting there, and all of a sudden it comes up with me, Dewey, and I think it was Rally as champion
So we were
squad.
like, what is this?
That's so
okay,
great.
let's do it. And then I didn't even hit the ground. We're going in. Meet us here, and then
Didn't you say something like, oh, I'm probably going to crash or something?
I think.
Or you said I was going to DDoS you.
That's what it was. I remember that.
That's right. Yeah.
I remember that.
And 10 seconds later, he just crashed, and I was like,
Oh no.
Chad was like, Hove did it. Hove DDoS.
Oh, did
Looks
it?
bad.
No.
but all right. Well, that's all I wanted to say about all that. But I thought that was important.
It is
Real
good.
quick, that's
interesting.
I'm glad you kind of brought that up with the whole trying to satiate the appetite of the consumer and stuff like that. That's why I was so glad that I'm hyping up Mortal Kombat 11 because it's a finished game. Yes, there will be like a couple of DLCs that introduce new characters and all that stuff, but I usually drop out before it gets to that point. But there's a lot more to do in this one, so we'll see. But it's really good knowing that like I got a nice, good complete game. You know what I mean? Like I got everything that I want out of it. It's not like, oh, a year from now this game's gonna be fucking lit. You know what I mean? Like
I will say, although Division 2 has been, I even saw an article that said like Division 2 has kind of set the bar now for like open world type of looter shooter launches for being like going well and having an end game ready to go. But I will say it's I would assume it's a much more difficult task to have something on the scale of Destiny or Anthem be a complete game than a Mortal Kombat. I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree with you,
sure.
but like that's two different types of things. That's like comparing
I
apples with giant peaches, like James and the giant peach.
I see what you did there. No, I totally agree, but like that's what I'm saying. It's good to get
Right.
back to like the basics, in my opinion, like the roots of.
Yeah.
I do find it funny
Destiny
though that just one last comment that like
Yeah.
even something like that where there's going to be DLCs and there's more stuff coming. Do you guys? I mean, I feel like we're all old enough to remember when like you just bought a game and that was it, man.
Yeah.
That was it. You played it until you don't want to play it anymore, and that was it.
Yep.
Hard copy. You open it up as a little instruction manual with like bonus like art and stuff like that. Oh my god, I was so pumped for the booklets because like I was sitting in the car on my way home just reading that
They
shit.
were pretty
And
awesome.
They're only like 10 pages, but I would read the shit out of every page.
Some of them
dude.
through like the early PlayStation games. Remember when you used to get like basically the book looking thing for your case for PlayStation for those of you who had original PlayStation? Those booklets were like super full. I loved getting those.
I'd love to go to like what is it, like EB Games or something back in the day and get the strategy guides too. Just
Prima,
like,
baby.
not even for
Oh,
the
Prima.
strategy, but it was just because it had like more art and stuff about the game and I thought it looked amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what like.
And then you either hated it or you liked it, and that was it. And you just played it or you didn't.
No alternative.
Destiny, like all the like art and stuff, like I really wish that like they'd pump out like more art books. That's why I was like picking up those like coloring books for Destiny, because I just love like you were saying, man, like back in the day that was one of my favorite things, like reading through the strategy guide, like taking it to school and putting it in my folder when I was supposed to be like reading something else. I know, shocker, I was a fucking slacker even at a young age, but like I want more stuff like that, man. I want like an animated series like the Halo Legends, but done with Destiny. Like,
There's a Halo TV show coming on Showtime or HBO.
Like,
That's pretty cool.
I don't even want it to be like live
High
action.
production.
You know what I mean? Like that costs a lot of money. Animation costs a lot of money too. But it'd be really cool to get some Destiny animation, and you could touch on so much different shit, man. And people would eat it up. I'd eat it up. Like I love that stuff. Like
Yeah.
be good.
There was something that y'all were saying. Oh, I was just thinking about talking about the old games and how you didn't really have DLCs. Like the closest thing I can think of to a DLC is when you got like a Game Shark or a started breaking your game and like getting into things you weren't supposed to, or like the Knuckles attachment for Sonic the Hedgehog. That was like the DLC, a completely different cartridge.
I think like the first DLC-ish type thing I've ever had back then was like when original Xbox and they came out with like the another disc for Halo 2, like the map pack or something.
The map
Oh
packs.
right,
Yeah.
map packs. Yeah,
I thought that thing was like the coolest thing ever.
So we didn't get high-speed internet out at our place till like Halo 3. So the very first DLC that I ever bought was actually for Skyrim. I bought some stuff, and then me and my cousin figured out that he could log into my account on his Xbox and download it, and we would like share DLCs, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like the early game sharing thing before like a lot of people knew that like that was a thing. And but then the Halo 3 map packs, like that was some good DLC, man.
that was it.
So to bring this around and end it and move on. The one thing, speaking of games that don't have DLC and you just play them and that's it, and I've never talked about this game ever, God of War.
I was like, wait, what's it gonna be?
I forget exactly where it is, if it's just on YouTube or YouTube TV or whatever, but just you can Google it. Use the Google machine. You'll figure it out. They're doing for the like 1 year anniversary, because it came out April last year. They have like a huge documentary series on it. They're doing on YouTube or YouTube TV, where they're like interviewing like Cory Barlog and doing different stuff, and kind of talking about the development process and everything. Like they said it was in development, for instance, there was a clip I saw, it was in development for like 5 years, and it took them 4 of those years to get the axe animations and battling right. And then they were like, you can't put the Blades of Chaos in. Like, you don't have time. It took you 4 years to do the axe, and they got it done. Like, they figured it out and blah, blah, blah. And it's really, really interesting. So, I know I never talk about that game, so.
With the whole, what we were talking about with, Triton made a point earlier about, like, fixing the game, particularly to do with Anthem. Like, he wanted to like fit them to focus on fixing the game that we had before adding new content in. But we, as especially Destiny players, are super like content hungry. Everybody wants more, stuff. And
Destiny's not broken at the moment.
No. I know, but there are some similarities in that, like, Trials being missing. That was a thing that came out with D2 at the beginning. Like, that's something that I'm like, I would rather put a halt to all future, like, I know no PvE player is going to agree with this, because they would obviously want more story and content. But for me as a PvP player, I'm like, forget all the other stuff and put all your time into fixing this activity that kept the game fun and going for me. But then even just saying that just now, I realized how much I personally have complained, regardless of the community, about new PvP maps and how there haven't been any. And in the past, 6 months or so since Forsaken, and I was like, man, what if they have sent the whole PvP team to work on Trials, whatever that would be, new maps for Trials or whatever. And I'm like, man, and I've been complaining about that stuff when I just really want them to fix that one thing. That's what I really want, not new content.
But also keep in mind, those things aren't mutually exclusive either.
Yes, I know. I'm just saying, like, it's funny and ironic to me that is what I even personally want. But also, they are fixing some things balancing wise still, like they've been working on, which I'll kind of transition us to the TWAB, because there's a pretty big thing in there about Not Forgotten and Luna's Howl being fixed, or nerfed or adjusted, however you want to call it. They're definitely changing it. Wilson, I think you might be muted. I see you agreeing or talking, and I was like,
change would be the word. They're changing it.
Changing, yeah. Yes.
We'll see if it's a nerf and stuff like that, but I'm pretty excited about it because it's a change.
It's definitely a nerf.
And that's what we want.
It's 100% a nerf. It doesn't mean it's going to be bad, but it's definitely a nerf.
Yeah, it's a nerf because it's going to take longer to kill someone, but it's an interesting nerf in that because a lot of people are like, oh, they changed, because what they did, for those who don't know, they changed it to a 150 RPM archetype, and made it to where basically that the extra damage doesn't happen on the precision shot, but on a body shot after 2 headshots, I think it is. And so it's still a 3-tap if you 2 headshot and body, but it's at a 150 RPM rate. And if you 3-tap headshot, it still gets the kill because 150s will 3-tap headshot somebody. The thing that's interesting in the actual document, I'll have to like read it word for word here so that I read it correctly. But one of the things they say about it is they wanted it to have the same, current behavior. So they said they will maintain some aspects of their current behavior while taking on the firing speed and damage of 150 RPM hand cannon. So a lot of people were like, well, 150s have so much bloom and not in-air accuracy on console that it's going to suck. But they say they want it to keep aspects of their current behavior. So I'm guessing this means it's still going to feel like the same gun.
Isn't it going to keep that recoil?
Same recoil. That's what they didn't say. I'm just guessing.
I thought I did see that somewhere.
Oh, really?
No, I think it's going to behave exactly the same, other than it's a 150 and Mag Howl doesn't give you bonus on crit damage. You have to get body shot to get that bonus with it, which will still make it the best 150 round hand cannon.
So does that mean,
unless you have Ace of Spades with the perk proc,
Memento Mori?
Yeah, Memento Mori. Yeah.
I mean, it's cool because you're gonna see things like Midnight Coup come into play more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's the thing I like. Like, yes, it's a nerf. Do I think it was necessary? Absolutely. I kind of like the way that like they're not just like, we're gonna nerf this. Like they're trying to change it up. They're trying to try something new, and by them doing this, it's going to allow. I'm not gonna say other hand cannons are gonna come in and steal the show or anything, but it's gonna give them a little bit more, like, ability to compete. So I'm sure people will still settle on Luna and Not Forgotten because it's what they're used to, but I like that it's an actual change and that it might be a slight meta shift. You know, we might be seeing more things that are. Don't get me wrong. If you get team shot by 4 NFs or Lunas, like you're gonna get fucked on.
But
like,
you get team shot by 4 anything.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, don't get me wrong.
As long as
like,
they all hit you.
True, but like that was kind of my point. Like, you know what I mean? Like 4 of anything's like gonna screw you up. But like, I think it'll be cool. It'll be fresh, and I think that's coming with Opulence. They said.
Yeah, I think so.
Scheduled.
Yeah.
So is that when we could probably expect the Spectral Blade nerf as well?
You
think
I'm
that'll come
not
before?
They haven't said that yet, but real quick to clarify, because Atlas said in chat that Dylan clarified on Twitter
About the recoil. I thought I saw it somewhere.
So here's the tweet. He said, to answer a few questions, the weapon retains the recoil and animation of 180 RPM precision hand cannons. The change to Magnificent Howl prevents 2-tap kills. Players could get in 2 headshots on one enemy to proc Magnificent Howl, then defeat another in just 2, which makes sense because I had that happen a lot. It felt like in comp you'd be running up against somebody who just killed your teammate and they turn around and just 180 RPM, pop, and you're dead, you know? So that won't happen anymore.
Wouldn't you still be able to 2-tap if...
No, because not precision hits, so only body, and body damage wouldn't be enough with the extra damage to 2-tap someone, I'm guessing.
Okay, so it does like 120. Well, yeah, I guess it'd be close. I guess it'd be.
I see what you're saying.
Because if you get 2 headshots on the first person, they die. You turn to a second guy, body shot, headshot.
No. It takes 2 headshots and a body to kill someone.
Right, but I'm saying if. Does it?
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. That's how the new one will work.
That seems really. So, I feel like if your first bullet on someone is the Magnificent Howl one, it should be body, head, body. At most, because it's gonna do like 120, and then like say 60 or 70, and then another body should finish that off.
It's
I'm
75 or what is it? What are the 57? Is that what it is to the?
Used to be. It's not now. It's 150 RPM. So I don't know what the 150 RPM headshot damage is. I can't remember.
No, I don't think that stuff. I don't think impact and stuff like that are changing. Like its archetype is going to stay the same.
No. Its archetype is changing to because it says the weapon retains recoil and animation.
Okay.
But in the TWAB it says that the firing speed and damage is what it's becoming of 150.
So it's going to do more damage.
Yes.
So what do 150s do?
I can't remember. That's what I'm saying.
Well, anyway.
You might be right. You might be able to like body headshot someone. I don't think that's going to be the case.
But,
like maybe 2 if you've got it rolling, Magnificent Howl rolling, maybe you can body head.
That's what I'm saying.
Like that.
So I originally did say, wouldn't you be able to body head? But it depends on what the damage numbers are. But it'll probably be close because I want to say just throwing random numbers out there, around 120 for a body shot with that Magnificent Howl, right? Isn't that what it was before? Or was that with the headshot? I can't even remember now.
Mag Howl proc, it was like 150. It was pretty.
But that was to the head, though, right?
That was to the head.
What was to the body?
I don't know.
It was still around 100.
I think it was lower. I think it was like 80 or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
I just can't remember those numbers.
I can't remember either. Yeah, I'm not.
It's gonna be interesting. That's what I'm saying. Like people. I think it's gonna be cool. I think it's gonna make more things like Midnight Coup, Ace of Spades, stuff like that. a little bit more viable. I know Ace of Spades is the meta. And that's the thing too, is that I don't even really know how much that affects PC, because even at high level competitive on PC, people are still rocking Thorn and Ace of Spades. You know what I mean? And even Last Word, like I rarely see any Not Forgotten and Luna stuff when people are doing PvP on PC.
Yeah.
So, it'll be interesting. Maybe it'll give them a reason to use the weapon a little bit
Yeah,
more.
true. Maybe other things will change it. I'm really curious for it on console, and I was curious to hear your thought, Wilson, because you're still in the process of going for the gun. You're really close, and so I wanted to know, like how you were feeling. Like, did you still want to chase it just as bad? Was it kind of a letdown? Like, how did that affect you?
At first, I was kind of like, okay, go figure. I'm going to get it, and here we are. Like, I'm on the cusp. I can taste it. Like, and I'm not gonna lie. Like, the first 10 seconds, I was like, I'm a little fucking salty, and then I was like, kind of read into it, and I was like, no, this is cool. Like, it obviously needed to happen. There's a reason why I'm salivating at the mouth to get that gun, because it's ridiculous, and.
Say hi. Triton has a guess.
But I think it's cool. I'm still gonna go for it because I want the experience. And we were kind of talking about that Lego, that like, as rough as a week as I had last week with competitive, it had the ups and downs and stuff like that. Like, I got closer to some cool people, found out some things, found out that like Litland's gonna be going to a college like right down the street from me,
right? Yeah,
things like that. So it's the friend game, man. It's cheesy as hell, but like it's the experience, and I want to do it just to say I did it. So I can understand why people are frustrated. I feel like people who probably paid for them recently are going to be even more upset, but like, that's to be expected in a game with an ever-changing environment, with patches and balancing. As much as we say we don't get that stuff, like, we get that stuff. It should be frequent enough that should always be in the back of your mind. Like, this gun's good now. I don't know how many times I've been going after an exotic and as they nerf it and then I get it or something. It's just the way looter shooters go, man.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
man,
it's cool to hear.
Did that one hit home, or are you laughing at something in chat?
He's muted. You're muted. Yeah.
No, man.
Chat.
Oh, it was chat. Okay, never mind. My bad.
No,
what
Wilson,
specifically?
It's good to hear how you're feeling about it, because I was worried that you would because there's been stuff that's happened before that you're just like, oh man, I just don't know, but you're that close to it, and it's the accomplishment of like making it there. At some point, it's not even about the gun; it's just about the accomplishment, and the gun's still gonna be a good gun. Like you said, it might be like that and Ace, or like the two like standout hand cannons,
Still gonna have the most range out of any energy hand cannon.
Lego, exactly. If you're now of the opinion that it's about the accomplishment, not getting the gun, does that mean you've moved away from your DDoSing?
I hate that you even bring this up. I've
hates
never
it
done
as a joke.
Anything like. No, I hate, because it's such a serious thing. I can't even like. That's the worst, Hove. I can't believe you'd assault my character in this way.
You're the worst, Hove.
Actually, I totally
really
can't.
Said.
Actually,
I just thought it was a legitimate question.
Well, how did the rest of y'all feel about
Lego's
this
DDoSing?
change? Well, no, because it's not real. Hove, Triton Mana, how I know quick play has been a source of frustration for a lot of people. Because of Not Forgottens and Lunas. I know quick play is supposed to be that, like, connection-based matchmaking, and I run into a Not Forgotten probably every 3 games, at least. There's a Not Forgotten killing me. That's pretty frequent. So how does it feel for y'all to be playing against these weapons? And what do you think
bad,
about
man?
Yeah,
especially since I tried so damn hard for the longest time to get Gunga Not Forgotten.
Right.
I didn't even want it. I didn't want to get that high because I was lower than her. I just want her to get it just because she really wanted it. But no, it's been like, well,
Did you give it to her?
Destiny. Look at Mana's
that look.
You said she really wanted it. Did you give it to her or not? Inquiring minds want to know.
That look was borderline emote material right there.
I'm not going to answer because I feel like anything I say, Hope's going to turn it around and say something
he's
else.
going to use it against you for sure.
100%.
That doesn't sound like something I would do at all.
But
he never talks about his friends doing things they didn't.
when
do.
I did play, I wouldn't even say frequently. Whenever I did play though, it was like almost every single game in quick play there was either one or multiple like non-forgottens up against me, and it was rough. And especially in comp every game.
Yeah.
Because I would never be against the team that was like us. I would just get raffle stomped into the ground.
Here's a question for you guys. You remember there was a point where we didn't know Not Forgotten existed, right? Luna's Howl was this pinnacle weapon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, right now, they get lumped together because they're similar, right? Like, they're both too strong, blah, blah, blah. But do you think if Not Forgotten ever existed and it was just Luna's, that it would be this much of a problem?
Yes.
Really? Because I don't think Luna's is
Yeah.
nearly... Because you have to... The range on it is
Like,
so much worse.
I was about to say, like, Luna's range definitely is
Because
much
you
shorter
definitely... Even if you have a Luna's and you're facing a Not Forgotten, you're at a distinct disadvantage. So, I mean, it's clearly a step down.
Right.
You are. I agree totally, and like, because that's kind of like the issue that I'm facing right now. But there's a lot. I would say that advantage, unless I'm challenging at a range that I shouldn't be with my Luna and I deserve to get killed, I would say that maybe happens 10% of the time, where I feel like that they had a distinct advantage.
Well, yeah, because
that I could do that.
Well,
Right, but I mean,
Statistically,
range is
It's
the advantage.
overwhelming.
So
No,
I
I'm
feel like-
agreeing with. I agree with you on that. Range is so much more than range. It's damage fall off. It's accuracy.
Yeah.
It's aim assist.
But
all those things. Like
you can feel Luna's Howl stability. Like, even playing with the team the other night where we got two people that are not forgotten, or one person, and then we were trying to get the other person's not forgotten. And so the guy who got it was like, well, I'm going to put it on right now. And his teammate who plays a lot of comp was like, dude, you don't want to do that. Like, switch from Luna's straight to not forgotten, because it's so hard to control versus Luna. Like, Luna's is so stable and you have to get used to the way not forgotten feels. And even though it has ridiculous range, and so Luna's is still like, and the way that Destiny is made, it's not made to, like, most of your encounters, the map design makes you play close quarters most of the time. So I feel like, that's why I feel like Luna's would be just as annoying, and just as big of a complaint in the community, because it still would be the go-to hand cannon.
Right, but that isn't a problem even with the guns. That's a problem with the idea of pinnacle weapons, right? Like, if it's not the pinnacle, then why did you make it a pinnacle weapon? If it is, it's better than everything.
Well,
see,
I think
I feel
they
like
described it. Here, hold on. Before we go on, I think it is a great question or a great point, because they said something in the article that kind of set the tone for why it shouldn't be the way that it is. Let me see if
I'm not arguing that it should be. I just don't think. I think it would be the best, but I don't think the outrage and the people being upset about it. I'm one that thinks it should change. I'm not like calling anybody out.
I feel like more
I
weapons
don't
would be more
think it would be
viable
great
to combat it, because like the weapons I main, I still don't like hand cannons. I'll just say that I still don't like hand cannons compared to D1 for some reason. There's a certain field that is just off, and I never like to use them. But I like to use pulse rifles. Pulse rifles feel really good. What's the I forget the pulse rifle I used to. I'm gonna look it up real quick, but
Frederick's?
it feels. No, Yeah.
Oh, bygones.
I freaking love that thing. It feels amazing, and I have I say I'm looking
good
at it right
mod
now,
on it,
but it's like
targeting adjuster
I can
or
combat. Yeah, I can combat Lunas. I feel just fine with it. But when it comes to the Not Forgotten, it's just you feel like it should also be able to outshoot Not Forgottens, especially when it becomes more at range.
Yeah.
But Not Forgottens will still just shit on my life. But like the thing is, I feel like for those certain types of pinnacle weapons, they shouldn't have just made it a single weapon type, which is right now a hand cannon. I feel like it's just like if they just had multiple weapon like types that are in that category of like pinnacle weapons, then there you would see so much more like availability and like everything, and maybe not just from Crucible to get them, like Crucible quest or whatever you have to do in comp to get them. Have it be from like a PVE type of.
Well,
It was
They
just like
did.
all around different stuff.
They did. The problem is none of those are here's the thing. They made one gun that was in this particular pinnacle weapon was so good at the neutral state, and they call it out here. They say Magnificent Howl, the unique perk on these weapons, is too effective. It works in a neutral setting and rewards players for getting precision shots, something they would do naturally. As a result, the time to kill of the game shifts to meet this new benchmark, and players feel that the majority of primary weapons in Destiny 2 cannot compete with these pinnacle weapons. Whereas Redrix, which is the pinnacle weapon that came out the season before they introduced Luna's, you had to get a kill before it
with an average weapon before it becomes the pinnacle weapon.
But a headshot to get the outlaw going and everything, and so it was an average. Exactly, it was like a good weapon, but you had.
I wouldn't even say it was good.
Back then, in that meta, it was good. Not in any new. You don't think so?
Redrix?
I don't.
Yeah, it was. Fine.
No, it was average at best.
But you didn't try it till the next season, Hove.
I
mean, I'm just going by what the general consensus was. Like, it wasn't that great.
I was about to say, here's the thing. I haven't gotten killed by it really at all.
Yeah,
it's not. Yeah, now it's.
And the thing is, I never had the Lunas or something when I first started, and I was going up against Rendry because I felt like it was pretty mediocre. Maybe like situational, like the perks super situational for it to be.
That's what I was gonna say. These weapons, they're not like put it in the hands of kindergartner and they're gonna go wreck face. Like these weapons force you to play a certain play style. So for instance, like it is very niche. Like people using Redrix's or whatever, I don't feel like you want to use it as a normal pulse rifle because it's not. Because like Hove said, in its base state, it is average.
You're not gonna win a 1v1 against someone who's hitting their shots. You have to like team someone or get someone like to surprise them.
Killing blow.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
take the shot. And
exactly, and then you have a really good pulse.
Or
that's
something
what I'm saying, and that's what people would mostly do with that is pick their engagement to where they can get that easy headshot cleanup, then go on the evil T1000 run and kill everybody on the map. Luna's Howl versus Not Forgotten. When I know I'm up against a team of Not Forgottens, I know what lanes I have no business being in.
Yeah.
Because I will get outgunned. So what it'll force me to play differently, and instead of challenge that lane 20 feet back, maybe I go right up to the wall and then poke out into that lane and challenge so that I'm not at a disadvantage with damage fall off. Or better yet, like team shot with your buddy, like 2 Lunas easily beats out a Not Forgotten. You know what I mean? Like if you can pick those moments and trade in and out, even at that disadvantage range where you're getting damage fall off on your Luna and they're not on their Not Forgotten, 2 of them, you team shotting and trading in and out with your teammate will fuck them up 100%. Like it just forces you to play differently. Recluse, it's a little bit more forgiving because you can get a kill with any weapon, so you could pair that with a one-shot kill weapon like a shotgun or a sniper or something like that. But it is a different play style, and that is what I like about these weapons.
It still has a requirement, like
for sure, 100%. Yeah, and I don't want these weapons to just be put in the hands of anyone and watch the world burn. You know what I mean? Like I want it to be like you have to play this way and do this. And that really wasn't like answering your question, Hove, about the whole existence of Luna and or Not Forgotten, but that's just kind of
I mean we kind of branched off, but like that was a natural place to go with it.
Yeah, this is kind of my take on the pinnacle weapons, is that like they force you to play a certain style.
I will say that I didn't really get to comment on my own opinion on it the first season when it was still the Claymore. Jesus Christ, somebody just fell down the steps.
Mana's house.
Making sure no one fainted.
That was weird. I look up the stairs and the dog stares back at me. Okay.
I will say that I did say, even when people like said that, Redrix isn't that good because it's shitty or at least average until you get the perk. I will say that from the beginning, I called that out as what I would rather see. Like, I like that because with Luna's, it's just better. Whereas with Redrix's, you have to do something with an average gun to make it good.
Yeah. Alternatively, having it be a very unique, different weapon, I feel like is also acceptable. Like Mountaintop, which is just a different, like, it's not just a beast mode gun. You have to use, it's a very particular kind of kinetic grenade launcher. You have to play a very specific style that isn't necessarily meta. Maybe on PC it's better. I hear grenade launchers are way better on PC, but at least my experience on console, it's not, I never feel like I'm just completely getting outgunned by a mountaintop. It's like they have to play a very particular style, and I can figure out how to counter that style. And it's just like other than being like a laser, it has like its cons. It's like having an exotic almost that you have to play a very specific way or is very unique, which I think is also fun. The way like Loaded Question is the Vanguard pinnacle weapon from last season, which you have to have a full mag of ammo, which you don't start with in the Crucible, and then you can map someone with it. So it has very particular things you have to line up. I'm with you, Hope.
I still really, like, I'm not going to use it in comp for the most part if I'm really trying to win, but I really still like using Redrix's a lot. Because, like I said, I'm not going to challenge with it right off the bat. I'm not going to go into an open lane and go, I'm going to challenge this guy. But if I can find a spot where I can pop out, or like Wilson said, like get that final blow, or maybe flank somebody, and as soon as you proc that, then you go to town. Like it can be really good. So you definitely have to play around its weaknesses to get to its strengths. But once you get there, I really like it, because then it's fun. It's just this, like, it feels like you're shooting Grasp and Malak, but you're doing regular damage.
That's what makes Luna and Not Forgotten so good, was that neutral game that we're talking about.
Right, it's always good.
It doesn't make you play a specific play style. You just use a hand cannon. You know what I mean? So I think we need more pinnacle weapons, kind of like what you guys were saying earlier about like more pinnacle weapons. I think it was actually Mana. If it has a good neutral game, like make a badass auto rifle, like make a like something. You know what I mean? It's got an amazing neutral game, and as long as you know how to pull the trigger on the gun and hit your shots consistently, you'll be rewarded for it.
See,
whereas
I disagree.
Things like Redrix, they force you to play that play style, and it is a primary weapon, but it doesn't have, like we were saying, it doesn't have the neutral game of the Luna. Recluse, I mean, very, very hindered by range, definitely forces you to make a certain play style.
That's interesting to hear you take, Wilson, because I feel like it's opposite of what they're doing.
I'm 100% against you in this one, Wilson. I just want to tell you.
Well, I want more good neutral game weapons. They don't have to, I'm not saying I want more mag Howl. Like, I don't want more of a Not Forgotten problems where they're gonna do something to these weapons and then the next weapon comes out and it overshadows it because of what they did to Not Forgotten and Luna this season. I want more options.
Isn't that
I like
what Loaded
some machine guns are cool. They're fucking boring after a while. A pinnacle sniper would be dope, or a pinnacle auto
but
rifle,
weapons are coming. But we're talking not so much about we definitely want more of these weapons, but we're talking about where we disagree with you on the style of really good neutral game versus okay neutral game, and you have to do something to make it this pinnacle weapon. And they're even saying they don't they're changing Lunas and Not Forgotten because they're too good without having to do anything.
I still think they're gonna be really fucking good.
They are, but
that's what I'm saying. I still think they're gonna be the go-to fucking hand cannons, 100%.
But I think it's because.
But that's still the problem. Yeah.
But they're making an effort in changing it, which is going to make it play slightly different, but it's still gonna be a good weapon.
Right.
That kind of that I'm on board with. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that we have several pinnacle weapons that require you to play situational. It would be, if you want stuff to compete with these Not Forgottens and Lunas, you need more neutral game weapons, is my point. We have Recluse, we have Mountaintop,
I just don't agree for Pinnacle. I think we should have more better neutral guys. That's fine.
That's just
that.
sandbox.
I just don't think they should get Pinnacle.
Better auto rifles and stuff like that for sure.
Sure, yeah.
I get that, but I see where you're coming from, but I'm still sticking to my guns that I want more neutral.
But what would you name the dog?
I want a more healthy balance of neutral pinnacle weapons and situational pinnacle weapons. Because that's all I'm saying.
I just come with, as far as if we're talking pinnacle weapons, I don't think you could make them that the neutral game is just what makes them better anymore, because then you're just going to run into the same problem.
Alternatively, too, like you can't make them like neutrally just fine either, because then no one will want them.
Right.
Like, they have to be unique, but neutral game can't be too strong, or that's all anyone will use, and then people will claim that they can't get it. So it's just a tough situation for pinnacle weapons in particular, I feel like.
Now, if you're just saying like we want weapons to be better, 100% with you. That's fine. But
I just think there's more creative ways that they can come up with to do interesting weapons that aren't like sit in the corner of this map and wait till the perfect moment until you can do this, and then have, proc X perk once a game. You know what I mean?
What about this? What about, because I'm hearing what you're saying, Wilson, and I think there's a compromise in there of like, or a vision of like what you're visioning that maybe me and Hove are having to disconnect on. And what if like it would be, you got a sniper rifle, was a pinnacle weapon, and it wasn't that it had some crazy perk that you had to do something on, it was just a super stable sniper. That's what it was. It didn't have crazy aim assist. It was just like, it had that one thing it was really good at. Neutral game, fine. It was just, everybody knew that was a super stable sniper. And it wasn't crazy, like it couldn't like you still had to have gun skill to use it. Or same thing with a hand cannon. You got a hand cannon that was just like, this one you get is just so stable. It's not like it outguns other things. It's easier to use in this or that regard.
Here's just in that example, and this kind of goes off of a little bit what we're talking about, but like everyone has been asking for a pinnacle sniper, right?
Yeah.
So I'm obviously not creative enough. I don't work at Bungie. I don't make video games. Like, they could do some kind of weird stuff, different perks, use this weapon and it gives you this, whatever it may be. But just taking like your example, and I know that you're just using that as a base example, but specifically just as a baseline. So if the sniper was just because it was super stable, right? Like barely any recoil. So is it one that can like is it slow firing? In which case the stability isn't going to really matter too much, or is it really fast firing? In which case then it does become a little bit too ridiculous, right? Because if it barely moves, then you just double body somebody real quick. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, there's just so many little things.
Slow.
There's just so many things. Right, but then if it's slow,
who cares?
Who cares? Who cares how stable it is?
Recoil direction is a thing. Like I felt like in D1, like you shot your sniper and it recoiled a certain direction. I feel like in D2, it's just like there's so many behind the scenes like dice rolls on your shots. Like, is your bullet even gonna go there? Is your reticle gonna reset where it last was? Like, you know what I mean? Just there's so much shit. Like, I think something that you could do with the sniper is make them get a headshot, make them get a kill, and then reward them with it with maybe better in-air accuracy, better handling. When you're like aimed there, the bullet actually goes there. I guess that's accuracy. Like, I mean, just make it feel good. Don't make it just the best.
Well, to be fair, snipers never had. They don't have like bloom or anything.
It kind of goes back to what we were saying, like, because I'm kind of almost contradicting myself here, because it needs to have a strong neutral game, but at the same time, like, it's a sniper, so like it is a situational weapon to begin with. Like, you're not just gonna fucking. Some people can do it. Joey can do it. He can fucking slide into a room and shoot someone right in the big tooth with it, and then follow up with some not forgotten shots on the next guy. But like, I don't know, like maybe even a pinnacle sniper isn't the way to go. Like, I want to see like, better auto rifles. Like, I don't like the fucking Gambit pinnacle one. I don't understand why every time I flip through streams everybody's using that fucking auto rifle. I cannot stand it. There are way better options than your primary. And
to be fair, that's an anecdotal thing then, right? Like, if you're even saying I hate it, why does everyone use it?
No,
do you know what I mean?
Literally what I was just getting ready to say. Maybe that's just my opinion. What I was literally just getting ready to say. And like, it definitely is just my opinion. If a lot of people are enjoying it, they really do like it. But I don't know, man. Like, it's just something about that damn auto rifle I just cannot stand. Like, I want to see something more interesting come from auto rifles. Like, as much as I hated that, what the fuck was the name of that auto rifle, Uriel's Gift, that everyone hated?
Yeah.
You know, as much as I hated that meta, like, you know, it would be cool to kind of see like a badass auto rifle come around. Like,
sorry, I totally off topic, but in chat, Ghost of Starman came in and says, "Hey, quick question: why isn't Hove in the middle?" And among other things, I said, "Mana cried till we put him there." And then I meant to say literal tears, and I said literal teats.
Dude, I cried literal teats. He wanted to be in the middle so bad he cried literal teats.
That's impressive.
Literal teats.
He's speechless. He doesn't even.
But anyway, I'm sure we have plenty of other things to talk about, and we always, in my opinion, have friendly, good debates, and we can debate about stuff all night. But
I like that you had a different take on it, Wilson. You know, because
I do agree with you guys, by the way, like to a certain extent.
We were on 100%, 100-degree opposite sides of that. So no, you don't. That's fine, but we were totally on opposite sides.
No. I'm not 100% on the other side because I do see like the neutral, like. I'm just gonna give an example. I don't, like you said, I don't want to. I know we could debate forever about this one thing, but it is a hot topic in the community right now. But the like Trials of Osiris, like Destiny 1 gear, like it had nothing on it that was you reload and you killed twice as fast. Nothing like that. It just had regular perks that other guns could get. They were just good guns, and people wanted them. And I think that is what you're alluding to, Wilson. And I get that. Like, I'm like, yeah, I could see that. If it was just a good auto rifle that was, like, one of the best, and you could get it from there, great. You know, that's cool. So, yeah, I just wanted to say I wasn't completely 100% the other way.
I just think that the difference there being Trials weapons were a lot easier to get than if we're talking, like, we're comparing this to PvP Pinnacle weapons.
Right.
Whereas we're talking about a weapon that is supposed to be very difficult. It's the pinnacle. So if you just make it right out of the box better than everything else, then it's too good and you get Luna's Nightfall. If you don't make it right out of the box and don't make it a situational thing, what's pinnacle about it? That's the problem with pinnacle weapons, I think, as an idea. Period.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool
like
idea, but
even like from D1, you know, like everybody wanted it, but at the same time hated it. It had to be nerfed.
Also, well, it was. I mean, it was broken.
It was broken.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm usually one of those people.
Nerf ever.
I was very against. Like, I usually am very against when people say, "Oh, it's broken," meaning anything that's like really good. Overpowered is one thing. Broken means it's literally functioning as it is not intended to. It was broken. Like they did not. It was not supposed to be that good.
Yeah.
I'm still sad Hovey got it before me.
Who did?
Hovey got it. Like the first week of like what was it? Hard mode?
I thought you said I was sad you got it before me. I was like, I didn't even know you.
No, Hovey. Everyone was joking in the raid group I was in that Hovey was going to get it and he's going to become more OP. And then he got it and no one else got it for the longest time. God. And then by the time someone else got it, it was nerfed.
Yeah.
Okay, so Luna's Howl and Not Forgotten. Discuss that.
Saucy.
Do what?
It was saucy.
Saucy, yeah,
like
yum saucy.
Yeah. There was kind of to go along with that, not like hugely, but I don't know if this is a rumor, I haven't seen any Bungie person say anything about it. I just saw people tweeting about it and this could be total rumor. Maybe I'm just catching it because I like literally just saw it. But there's a tweet going around about someone from BSK got hired by Bungie to be there for 6 months.
I saw that. I've never heard of that person.
I've never heard of them either. It's called Change.
I haven't either, but they haven't confirmed or denied it.
Exactly, yeah.
Which makes me think I hate to be that guy, but it's like, oh, it confirms it. You know what I mean? But like, I don't think they can confirm or deny that right now. Like, isn't there like a certain amount of time that has to pass, like before maybe you can announce like what you're doing or working on?
I don't know. I just know that there was NDA stuff because everybody found out about it, but they put in their Discord and somebody screenshotted it and then uploaded it to Reddit or Twitter or something. And that's how word got out. And so I don't know what's going on with it. I just wanted, that would be interesting if they did hire somebody to come in to, that knew the PvP community well, to kind of oversee like what we're wanting. That's something people have asked for a lot, is to have somebody come in. So just interesting little, I don't really have any thoughts or feelings on it. I don't even know if it's true. I just thought it was an interesting thing. I saw it going on in the community.
Absolutely.
Wanted to bring it up.
Definitely interesting. It'd be cool. Like I'm okay with that. Like
yeah,
let's do it.
They should have hired
a lot
Mana.
of people were like, why isn't Ramblin' up there? A ton of people were mentioning Ramblin'. Like, why
I
is
saw
it
that.
the one over here? But there's plenty of awesome people in the community. I'm sure whoever Bungie got, they did their research. They know what, I trust they know what they're doing. Second on the TWAB is there's gonna be, I thought this was really cool after going into Shattered myself, but there's a Shattered Throne ride along Monday, April 29th at 2:30 p.m. Pacific. That's gonna be a pretty cool, out of any ride along I feel like I would want to watch from Bungie, I feel like that is the one, because that is such a cool, unique mini raid like space, to that you can go in solo and complete it even, but it has like challenges and it's just massive. Like, it's such a big area. So I'm excited to see like what their thought process was graphically or skill wise, because there's some interesting fights and jumping stuff and all sorts of stuff in there.
I'd like to see them do a ride along and with like whatever area they want to do, but they should bring Ice Cube and Kevin Hart and do a ride along.
That's clever, Hove.
Ice Cube, like,
I feel like that was very condescending.
Conan O'Brien.
No,
I giggled.
Yeah, internally.
Ice Cube, he made a tweet. Someone was like, "Do you even play Destiny?" And he sent tweeted back a picture of his 700 light level.
He plays a lot. He's like a gamer. Like Ice-T's
Yeah,
legit a gamer.
awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, was that movie Ice-T, not Ice Cube? I thought it was Ice Cube.
Yeah, Wilson's referencing Ice.
No, I'm talking about chat. KB Ninja said not Ice Cube, Ice-T. I thought it was Ice Cube and Kevin Hart.
It is Ice Cube
Oh,
and Kevin
okay.
Hart in Ride Along, but
Yeah.
Wilson's saying it's Ice-T.
I
Ice is who's
I understand
I fucked
that.
it
Yes.
Yeah.
I fucked
No,
up. Go
no,
figure.
we're both right. We're talking about two.
You're
You and I are
both-
talking
yeah,
about two
you're
different
both
things.
right.
I'm
Why
not.
don't you tell me I'm right.
I'm not even talking to you, Wilson. Just zip your lips, mute your mic, smoke some weed. All right.
Monka TOS.
Okay, there is something like super weird that I wanted to address that is going on, and my camera just completely shut off. Not sure what's happening.
This is the
It's been doing that all night.
No, I know, but it's like permanent now. I'm not sure what's going on. But
You're not gonna.
really interesting.
You're not gonna do anything lewd while your camera's off, right?
No, I'm reading you something from the TWAB. Listen, so
Double Monka TOS?
if you didn't read this, it's super interesting. They said tomorrow
What's that noise, Lego?
the 7th invitation of the 9 will become available from Xur. Before this pursuit goes live, we'd like to make players aware of a blocking issue, which we are currently working on. So there's an invitation titled The Tower, which requires players to complete the Hollowed Lair Strike and defeat Hive, Scorn, and Vex on the Tangled Shore. But currently this invitation cannot be completed since Vex are not an available enemy at the location of the Tangled Shore.
Oh shit.
I fight Vex
So-
on the Tangled Shore.
Literally, you can't complete the mission. Like, that is the main story for this.
You know what's really ironic about that?
What?
This would have been a great week. I was a week behind on that, right?
Yeah.
Would have been a great week for me to catch up.
You should.
Except I didn't do last week's. So I'm 2 weeks behind.
Rip the dream.
Dude, it was
so
like
yeah,
Monday night, real late, and Dewey was like, "Hove, you know what tonight is?" And I was like, I don't know." He was like, "It's Monday, and we have to do the invitation of the 9 tonight, but fuck that, it's late." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to bed."
Has anybody gotten an exotic from one of those? Anyone in chat, Twitter, let me know.
I gotta bring it up too. I haven't got an exotic, but Hove, that same night that y'all had that conversation, I realized I hadn't done it yet that weekend.
Well, why didn't you say like, "Hey, I'm going to go run it real quick"?
Well, I didn't recognize it till after you got offline, and I was like, "Oh, I haven't done that."
You don't
yet.
have my number.
And well, no, I completed it the next morning, I think, because you could still do it in the morning. So I did that. But yeah. I was like, oh, crap.
It also goes through like tonight, tomorrow, whatever. I still didn't do it.
You could do it right now, Hove. After this.
Bye.
Okay. But I thought that was so weird because people always talk about how like Bungie is conceiving these bounties for like what we're gonna have to fight to get to the next thing, but like they decided to fight Vex on Tangled Shore, which isn't a thing. Like I just thought that was so weird, like so bizarre, and people were complaining. I saw
it's probably just
some
random
pretty serious complaints about like them saying that the game isn't being checked properly and tested, and I don't know. I don't think any of that.
That's a pretty easy oversight. Like,
yeah,
I've
that's what I
definitely walked out of my house and forgotten my car keys. That doesn't mean that I need to like restructure my life and like figure everything out. Well, maybe Hope may have a point with that.
Maybe just a little bit.
You get my point. Bad analogy. Using me in that analogy and forgetting something, but yeah. Let's move on. Enjoy my peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
By the way, where did that come from? You just all of a sudden had it.
All of a sudden had a peanut butter sandwich.
Sam brought it to me, man.
Yeah.
What
you think? I was playing with Sam before this, and I was like, "Why don't you just come on the podcast?" I was like, "You just come on with Wilson." She said, "I come on every week when I bring him a snack," and I was like, "All right, that's fair."
She's the real MVP, man. For those who don't know.
Okay,
I didn't even see you like reach to get it. I just saw you having it and eating it.
That's true.
Like,
bro, maybe I got it in my desk drawer right here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
Do you keep chicken nuggets in your pocket too?
I definitely
like,
keep
up your
snacks.
sleeve or something.
I definitely keep snacks with me in like my seating area, like my gaming area, and all that stuff. Like
respectable.
When the munchies hit hard, bro, you gotta stay hungry, man.
You want to not be hungry.
I'm gonna fix my camera, so I'm gonna let you take this Wave Rider and finish the race for us here.
Oh gosh, those goes.
No more Lego looking like a young Dean Winchester over there.
By the way, there's nothing.
Is there anything else you want to talk about, or should I do the community questions?
Yeah, you can do the community question.
All right. So we have two, because I didn't put the tweet out till today because I suck.
Nice.
And they're both from Matt Grundy. And one of them makes fun of me.
I saw that one actually.
Double thumbs up.
And actually, one of them we kind of... Okay, well, anyway.
Yeah, I think the second one we kind of addressed.
Kind of to a point. Not specifically, but we kind of were around it. In D1, the community excused a lot of current game issues by saying, well, a majority of the studio is working on D2. Same excuse is now being said about D3. Do you feel this is a legitimate excuse, or should Bungie do more to support / address the live game? I'm still of the opinion. I find it hard to believe that people are just sitting around not doing anything, that they're just being lazy. Like, they're working. They need to work to make money, to have jobs, to work. Like, it's a circle. They need to keep doing it. They're not chilling. But as we talked about late, and this is how like Triton and I said, we kind of bounced around this a little bit. I'd rather have to wait and them not be miserable human beings. Mm-hmm. Not that affects me. Like, I know a lot of people are going, well, how does that affect me if they're miserable? It doesn't. But like, let's be people. Like,
yeah. Plus, I think sometimes those complaints come from a place if they're just not working on what you want them to. I think Lego kind of segued us into a conversation by saying he would throw all of his resources in to get trials right now when they're doing things, and then we had like a 30-minute discussion about Lunas and Not Forgotten. So they're obviously doing things in many places. It just might not be what you want them to do at that specific time as well. So I think keeping that in perspective, they're obviously doing a lot of things from the game. Maybe not for everybody.
Yeah, I will say this. I stand behind this 100%. If you're one of the people that says they're just not doing anything, or they're lazy, or they don't care, or any of those like very like inflammatory, obviously ridiculous statements, you are stupid. Okay? I will stand behind that. Like, if you don't see that there is some reason that they're not just hanging out and having parties, and you think that they're just lazy and they're not working on it and they don't care about the game, you're an idiot.
Hope just had his, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Stone Cold.
You listen. I'm normally very like, I like to see both sides of things, even if I have a strong opinion. But like that's a fact. You can at me or whatever. Like
That's a fact.
I mean, do you? Maybe the other four of you won't say yeah they're stupid, but I mean, can you say I'm flat out wrong?
No. I think
I made
would
it clear that I'm agreeing with you.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
by my laughter and stuff. Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
You're stupid.
I almost not block someone, but I almost someone comment like that. I was just like, man, like they're obviously like working on it. They obviously like care. I don't know.
And I still run. I'm not going to name any names, but I still run across people that it disappoints me to no end that they post stuff like that because I thought they were smarter than that, more mature than that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
If I ever get to a part in my life where I feel like I need to waste time to bitch at somebody over the internet, I turn the game off and I go do something that I've been neglecting that needs to be done for however many days. We all got shit to do. Don't act like you haven't been neglecting something.
I'm totally fine.
Game,
you can bitch.
go do something.
Bitch all you want. But it's just the fact that whenever people say like it's because that
I'm with you.
They don't care. They're lazy. Shut up. Like you're stupid.
Well, you know how emotions fly. Like that's the problem too. Is that like when people get pissed about that stuff, they'll jump straight to Twitter, whereas a rational person will go sit down and think about it and be like, do I really want to look like an asshole on Twitter? You know what I mean?
But most of them don't know they look like assholes. They think they're right.
I think they do. You just don't see the self-realization. You never see that moment. That's like
I don't think they have it.
I'm sure some do. No, I'm sure you're right, but like
some do.
Some do it constantly.
The repeat offenders obviously don't. But like there's definitely some people out there that are like, this tweet is unavailable. Like, you know what I mean?
And to Hove's point too, I think I agree that I think there's a difference between complaining about something and attacking the devs and their integrity about something. Like those are like different things. Because like getting DDoSed, a week or two ago, like that was like I was so mad twice in a row. Like I was furious, and I made a tweet about it. And that's fine. Like I can complain. This thing happens to me in the game, and it's frustrating.
Well, do you remember? It's like the time right after Cosmo's kid was born, and it was like a picture of his newborn baby, and someone was like, "Dead game, you're terrible." Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
and that's the difference. Yeah, that's the difference. Is I'm number one not going to like just comment on their personal posts, but I'm also not going. Because of that, get on Twitter and call out the devs for stuff. Like, I will complain about the game on my own thing, but I'm not going to tag people in it. I'm not going to say it's their fault. I'm not going to say they don't care. Like, they've made multiple posts about the issue that I am even having, and they're aware of it. Just because it's not fixed in game doesn't mean they haven't spent time on it or don't have people testing a fix for it at this moment even,
Well, they don't. No one does anything at Bungie.
Yeah, obviously.
And it's counterintuitive when they come out with those posts that say, like, we're trying to get good feedback, but by the way, we're people too, so if you constantly attack us, it's very hard to get the real feedback or even want to be in a space where we try to collect it if these are your comments. So, I mean, if you're that upset, you're really not helping your own problem.
And also, I'm pretty sure maybe the community managers, but none of the other ones, like that Twitter is not part of their job.
Right.
They're doing that, like, on their own time outside. Like the part of their job is not to be social media managers. So you're just an asshole.
That reminded me of something I wanted to bring up. This isn't related to like, hate mail for devs or anything, but it is related to devs stuff. I just wanted to call out what a awesome community manager DMG is for. Like, I feel like he's always he's not just communicating, but he's always showing that he's doing the activities that the players are doing too, whether it's comp, a raid, Shattered Throne. This week, he just posted a thing like, I'm going in now to get, like, he's going after the Iron Banner emblem, which I have no desire to do. Props to him for pushing towards that, but he's going to know that experience for going in when people have feedback on it. Like, he played it, he knows. And obviously we know that a lot of people at Bungie play their own game, but to have him, like, show those things, like, I feel like it means a lot and helps people relate to him. I don't know. I just feel like he's doing a bang-up job. Like, I feel like he's really good at his job.
He's relatable.
He's relatable, yeah.
Speaking of community managers, I don't know when this changed, but like it was always Deej, and then they brought on Cosmo, and then they brought on Dylan. Did anyone notice that Deej isn't even like his thing doesn't even say community manager anymore? Like he's not. It's just Dylan and Cosmo. Deej is doing his own thing, whatever it may be, but it says working with teams that serve the Guardians, report player support issues on our help forum, be excellent to each other. That's his Twitter profile now, and you don't hear from him really much anymore. So
he hasn't really been doing community manager things. He's kind of like their spotlight guy for their live streams.
Live stream.
Well, it was never like a hey, these guys are taking over. It was kind of this like quiet transition, but he's no longer in that kind of position. It's just Dylan and Cosmo now.
Yeah.
I just thought that was interesting.
It is, yeah. I was thinking about that. I was looking back on a video, the Forsaken video stuff, and I thought it was really interesting. He was the hype man on the video, but since then, not having heard from him and it all being Cosmo or Dylan. So same kind of thought process, Hove. I'm with you on thinking those things and thinking it's interesting.
Last question, Matt Grundy. Just want to get to know the hosts a little better. What was the location of each of y'all's first kiss? And then he says,
I actually know the answer to this
family
right
members.
away.
I don't know how this was. I don't know how this happens. But it says
this got weird.
Family members don't count, so Hove, you can just make one up. Like what? Why? Why was that? Why am I attacked like that?
I saw that. I'm like, wow, that was savage.
Yeah.
Jeez. And Wilson, you said you know that, like you know somebody else. Is that what you're saying?
I first kiss. Dude, it was such an event, bro. Like. Kindergarten.
Wow.
Damn. Slide out at recess out on the playground.
Wow.
I had my Ninja Turtle action figures, Donatello, because he's the fucking coolest, and I had a mouser that you could wind up and the feet would go weird and start walking.
Sweet.
Little mouser.
Yeah.
And I came up with my Shredder and my Raphael, and it just happened.
So yes, and Hope was like, "Yo, you like Ninja Turtles too?" But so I was on top of the slide. I was Donatello was having his battle with the little mouser, and Delaney Kapitko. Oh no, actually, this is the events after. No, so anyway, she called me over behind the tree.
Everything.
We had a kiss. I went to the top of the slide. She was the next person up. I was having my little scene with my Ninja Turtles, and Delaney Kapitko pushed me off the top of a very tall slide. I'm talking like at least 15 feet up, and I crashed to the ground, landed on my mechanical mouser toy, and broke the shit out of it. And
Damn.
it was funny because flash forward many, many, many years, we were all hanging out, having some drinks in high school, or out of high school, and and I brought that up, and she felt so bad. The poor girl shed a tear over it, and then the next Monday at school,
Shut up.
she got me a mouser. And keep in mind, this is shit. What year was I supposed to be a junior? I don't know. I got held back a lot in high school, so like I don't remember exactly.
So you were in high school, but you could legally drink. It's fine.
That wasn't that bad. But it was bad, but it wasn't that bad. But like she totally replaced my mouser toy. And
That's
it was really cool. So that Delaney was my first kiss, and then she turned around and was savage minutes later by pushing me off the slide.
What a bittersweet day for you, man. You're like, oh, first kiss. Oh no.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I was on top of the world. I got the first kiss.
And Mana froze. That was awesome. Perfect timing.
Actually,
Like this.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like she pushed me down the slide. She pushed me off the side of the slide, and it was a very old, like. So my school.
Were you
was
a bad
really
kisser?
Old. Maybe that was it.
Maybe.
Bad breath?
Bad breath. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I know.
It actually wasn't a kiss.
What?
Actually, it was just whispering,
Nothing.
finish him. And then she tried to destroy you.
Dude, these slides were like, I mean, I guess there are some safe slides out there, but these things were really freaking tall, and our school was really old, so they were like straight up from like slides from like the 30s and 40s, like big.
Yo, that was the same as
ones, like,
my elementary school was on top of a hill that we used to also play on the side, like King of the Hill. on. Like kids would just savagely push each other and like throw each other down this hill, and then right next to us was this big metal slide with no like
you know what though
or anything on the side.
We're all alive, man.
Yeah,
that shit was fun.
It was fun.
I want to go.
You know
like
how many times I
like do you think you could get anybody? Yeah, do you think you could get anybody to like go wrestle on a hill nowadays? No. Oh, we might get hurt.
No, the parents would get involved. They'd take it like that's what I'm saying, man. We used to straight throw down at school, and they'd split us up, and the parents would get called.
We used to. Have you guys ever been like put on the wall at recess if you were bad? Like
every day.
That was like
the wall.
Bro, like my watch never ends on the wall. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't feel like my first kiss was much of a story, but the girl behind it. So it was, I guess, like, because I couldn't drive yet. So it was freshman or sophomore year in high school, I think. And she, like, it was this random girl. I can't remember how we met, but I remember she was like 30 minutes away, and my parents drove her to her house. And we went and kissed in a park, but then like we broke up because of the distance thing, because I like couldn't drive and stuff. But then she started stalking me, like around, like she would go to my band's concerts when I had another girlfriend. She would just show up like hour away from where she lived, and she would just go to this small town, show up at this concert, and we'd be like, what do I even do? And just randomly would show up in different areas of my life. And it was like the freakiest, like, how do I get this girl like from knowing my every location? You know, it was creepy, man.
Was it like swim level movie levels of like stalking? Did you ever see that movie, The Swimming
No,
Fan?
no, I
Swim
didn't.
Fan with Ryan Phillippe
like,
and Erica Christensen.
Is that the one with like
man,
sexy
Hope is all over
mermaid
that one.
stuff, or no?
Sure.
Lego, I thought you'd be
Okay.
like you would be impressed by that one. You always tell me all that. It was called Swim Fan and had Ryan Phillippe and Erica Christensen.
I am impressed, Hove. I'm always impressed with
you.
your.
Know this stuff?
I
off
know
the top
how.
Of your head,
I don't know.
bro.
I didn't even know what the movie was.
You need to go on like the movie edition of Jeopardy.
Okay.
For real.
Okay.
Like, my uncle's the same way with music, dude. Like, you'll talk about a band or something, and he'll be like, oh, their hit single in 1978 was...
Well, I don't know years and stuff. I'm not one of them.
Still pretty impressive.
Still, that
right?
was very impressive. Honestly.
You never saw... I saw that movie in theaters. With...
Yeah, you saw that movie in theaters, like,
With the
20
girl
years
that
ago,
you had
and
your
it's
first
like-
kiss with?
Actually... Dude, kind
Shut
of,
up.
kind of.
No way.
It
You
depends.
just
It
lied.
depends on what. Well, it depends. No, because my answer was gonna be. It depends on what we're saying. Like a first kiss, like Wilson. Like I feel like Wilsons and Legos are different.
What are we talking
like,
about here?
Okay, Wilson, you were in kindergarten, right? You were behind a tree.
Right. I wasn't...
It wasn't like
There wasn't anything more than a kiss.
right. So like, if we're just going with like, oh hey, let's kiss, haha, like we're boyfriend girlfriend, we're 5. Mine was also in kindergarten. But if we're talking
Okay.
like date, like we're gonna make out. It was 8th grade, and it was the girl I went to see Swim Fan with.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can't
What
tell
are the
mine
odds?
for fear of Monka TOS then, so... and Slam coming in here and slapping the shit out of me.
Do we want to tell the stories next when we lost our virginity? Because mine's good.
Wait, I want to hear Mana's and Triton's first kiss.
I'm trying to think. I'm really trying to think.
I'm sure I remember mine, to be honest with you.
He's kissed so
Wow.
many.
You're a bunch of virgins.
That's what's so
my
great.
child
Okay,
earlier
stop.
today.
Earlier.
I think it was 4th grade. And then like in elementary, and you have a girlfriend. I feel like it doesn't.
Well, that's
count
why I
back
gave
then.
2 for mine, because there was very
Yeah.
clearly a kindergarten, and it was like, oh hey, haha, we're cute. Like,
Oh.
do you want to kiss? Yeah.
Oh?
What?
Your whole sentence was just like
Yeah, we left
censored.
at the very end of that.
Completely out.
It's probably a good thing.
Lie, man.
No, it wasn't that bad.
But I think it was 4th grade. All right. I just want to say I was in charge of the school. I think it was called the school shop or whatever it was. It was my 4th grade class, and everyone from like whatever can come up and spend whatever money they have to get like pencils and cool ass erasers.
Yeah, the
and
erasers.
stuff.
Everyone loved the ones that went on the yeah.
Oh, dude. And
Yeah.
I was the first in charge to choose through the catalog of what people wanted.
They made a terrible
If
decision.
if this word existed back in the day, this shit was lit. Okay, people were ecstatic about the choices. But anyways,
What did you
During
say
that
was
time,
lit
you know,
earlier?
Nature is fucking lit.
Yeah.
Nature is fucking lit. Lit
Because
did exist
peaches
back then. It
evolved to look like butts, so you would eat them. Okay, that's the conversation, by the way.
Lit was around.
Lego's
back then,
face.
it just wasn't.
Lego, your face was just like, huh? All right, but anyways, back to what really matters.
Yes, to tell.
4th grade, or it may have been 1st grade, because dude, for Halloween I dressed as the White Ranger for Power Rangers, and this girl dressed as the Pink Ranger.
Oh.
And oh my god!
And Triton now has an erection.
He was quote unquote.
Wait, is this first kiss or first boner?
That was like, this is like my quote unquote first girlfriend was in 1st grade.
This is the whole. Wait, I thought we were in 4th grade.
Yeah,
But
thought we were in
I
fourth
can't
grade,
remember
man,
if I
and
kissed
then we
that
were at
girl.
the
No,
school fair.
that's why I was saying I couldn't remember if I kissed this girl though, because it was my like first actual like crush. Like, but 4th grade I definitely got a smooch. Okay, my first kiss.
Oh, okay.
I think I got the kiss because for whatever some reason I decided to gift her this present. It was one of those big glass like circular jars full of M&M, like mixture of M&Ms and stuff. And like you could twist the thing and it'll come out, and it was super fancy. I had 2 of them, so I gave my other one to my best friend. But like I gave one to the girlfriend, or I guess girlfriend back. If I don't even know. It was 4th grade. And then she just smooched me right there in the classroom, and I thought I was going to get in trouble. I was like, "Is that allowed?" You know, I was a little kid. That's all I remember, because it was such a like, you know, it's like you kissed me.
Mana turned red,
Like,
had to cover his crotch, and he ran to the bathroom.
I ran away crying.
Sounds like yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I remember about that, because I thought I was going to get in trouble. I thought maybe someone saw it and was going to tell on me. So
I could get in trouble for that stuff back then.
And now, let's not forget the irony of the fact that the child who thought he was going to get in trouble because a girl kissed him now dates Gunga.
Oh God.
That's what started it all. That was the moment in time.
He was like, well, if that's all right, I guess everything's all right.
That was the singularity event that changed man into the creep that we know and love.
Everything is permitted.
Oh, okay.
What is happening right now?
I love it. I love it.
That was a good question.
I still don't know Tritons.
No, I said I don't.
He said he doesn't. He's never had a first kiss.
There's been so many.
Yeah.
He skipped straight to his second kiss.
I don't know if I remember that one either.
Impressive.
Wow.
No, like I don't know. Like, you guys have some standout moments that you can remember. I don't. It probably happened like extremely casually, and I don't remember like no surrounding thing. No one dressed up as the Pink Ranger, which obviously would have been. Something
That would have
remember
been
if
it.
that was the
I
case.
still remember this.
You know,
dude.
so
that thing was crazy cool.
There were actually two. This is not a joke, but there were two different ones in kindergarten. They fought over me.
I'm shocked. I'm totally shocked by this hope.
That's a
that
true
you were
story.
Doing your thing at such an early age.
It was lots of pounds ago. You know, whatever.
I do remember another one, by the way. Just saying. It was at a skating party. Have you guys ever went to skating
Fuck
parties?
yeah.
Yes.
Dude. Once you figure out how to skate backwards and you're out there and all that, and the couples dance, like slow song starts, so you gotta find a girl to hold hands with. All right. We took it back to the arcade. I bought her a pretzel.
Arcade.
What is the soft
I
pretzel?
bought her.
Oh man.
You didn't get her. You got her a soft pretzel.
Which she yes. Stop it. No, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit.
It was soft and really salty.
Didn't know what you kids were calling things back then. Took her back to the
I gave her.
Regret saying this extra.
I took her back into the arcade and I gave her some of my soft pretzel.
Why do I keep saying this?
I have to pee so bad.
Right now.
Yeah, we should end it on that note.
can't.
I don't know how we.
Wait, are we not telling virginity stories?
No.
Mine's
Back in the
really
arcade.
good.
We'll
This
save
is
it
where
for...
I say we need to keep it on track.
Thanks, Wilson.
Yeah.
But this is the end.
Of the world.
Yeah, that reminds
We're
me.
in the end game now, guys.
We're officially-
Oh, can I tell you my new ad for Blue? I have a new ad for Blue.
Oh yeah. We need a blue ad.
Has it been pre-approved by Lego?
No.
It doesn't have to.
Well, listen. Have you ever played with Dewey, like video games?
Yeah.
And he'll go like, you may or may not hear it, and he'll go, did you hear it? And you're like, what? And he's like, I farted. I wanted to see if you could hear it. So the other night we were playing, and I was just on my regular mic, and I was like, I farted. And it was pretty loud. And I was like, did you hear that? And he was like, no, what? And I was like, I farted. I thought you could hear it. And I was like, if I would have had my blue mic, you would have heard it, because I did that during the podcast once, and Fallout called me out. So I'm just saying, blue mics are definitely better, because my other mic does not pick up when I have... Lego, what do they call it when you fart?
Gas.
I said it earlier, flatulence, because
flatulence.
that's what I said it because Mana was talking about the yum yum sauce, and I just figured, he said then he had the colonoscopy. I was like, well, too much flatulence.
Listen,
Shit
farts are
leads to
just
other shit,
funny.
man.
But yeah,
And you
so
don't want to miss out on a good fart, so get blue mics
yeah,
and
if
headphones
you
so
need
you can hear
if
that
you
fart's
need
hard.
like someone to hear, like
If you
maybe
need to share a tier 1 fart.
yeah, maybe you are concerned about the sound or length of your farts, and you need a doctor who is on the other side of a microphone to hear you. You got to have blue mics and headphones.
Gotta have
You need
it.
to know you might need a colonoscopy.
And I just want to say, I personally think that rivals any of Holtzman's old ad reads for DCP. I just want to say,
Wow.
yeah,
Throwing it down.
yeah. But for
I
real,
agree, it's pretty good.
you can only hear my farts with a blue mic.
Well, that's it for this week. RezoCast episode 131 on that note. On that noise. Yeah, this has been Lego, aka Legoli Flash. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube at Lego LE Flash. Hove.
I thought he forgot it.
Yeah, I was
His
like,
name at first.
I was pausing to can you find me anywhere else this week? But no, I'm not gonna be an Iron Banner. I'm not. I'm gonna be chunking grenades still somewhere. But
can I
that's
tell you a
about it.
pet peeve of mine?
Oh, chunking grenades, Wilson.
I hate when you
We
say
need to talk
chunking.
with Hove later.
Grenades.
Chunking? Why?
Because it's chucking.
It's Chucky.
Oh, oops.
I've kept that one in for
Chunking.
years now, and you always tell me you're gonna chunk something, and it makes me uncomfortable.
It's
You're
that's
gonna
funny.
throw it up?
Dude, I'm so bad with words.
Even that is like up chuck.
Yeah. I was telling the Planet
Low
Destiny
chunks.
crew, Nim plays and Moon. I was telling him the only reason they even let me on this podcast is because I'm the one who edits it. Like
Lego,
that's the
didn't
only-
you put the podcast together?
That's what I mean.
So how did we let you on the podcast? You invited us.
I could easily be kicked off for my mispronunciation of literally everything.
I mean, I'm
But I
pretty.
mean,
The fact that I am.
you do make it better with the random Southern accent. So
I definitely
Oh,
think I'm closer to getting kicked off for lewdness, but I'm Hove.
Fair.
You can find me on Twitter and here every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern now. Twitch.tv/Hove76. We are now 9 p.m. Eastern. If you would like to stop by and join in this nonsense live, because if you've never been here live, yes, we call out some of the things that go on in chat, but there's a lot of shenanigans. I feel like chat might have more fun making fun of us than we do just talking.
And I mean, you can hang out with Matt Grundy.
He's
who's
like a
here
celebrity.
every Thursday. hanging
Although
out with us. he's
I'm a little bit upset with
RezoCast
him
celebrity.
right now.
What? Why are you upset with
Are you
Matt
fucking
Grundy?
kidding?
Twitter, the Twitter call out.
He said he wanted to hear about everyone's first kiss, but it doesn't count with your family, so I'm out. What the? Like, where did that? There isn't even a running joke about that. I don't know where that came from.
Who doesn't randomly just call you out for things you haven't done?
True.
We should get him on the show and
Yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah, but the problem is people like you, Lego, believe it like 6 months later.
I do. It's
Yeah,
true.
that is true.
I am truly Drax. Truly.
Like that time that you thought it would be way too sensitive if we kept bringing up Mindy, even though that had been fake from the beginning.
We should
But it's really
also
not.
now with a new cast and changes in the MCU universe, we should do another like who is what Avenger soon.
Oh yeah.
Is-
Soon.
Is
Soon.
Wilson going gangster?
Is he
I
about to
know.
rob a bank? I was like, whoa, Wilson.
I know
Wilson
Wilson.
TOS again.
Lego
You need to
late.
call out
Hashtag Lego
Wilson,
like
where can-
DDoS.
Where can they find you?
You can find me
In the club.
playing some D&D tonight, tomorrow night and
Ooh.
Saturday night. I'm not playing D&D. I'm going to be hitting up that Mortal Kombat 11. If anybody out there plays Mortal Kombat 11,
I'm tempted. I'm really
would like
tempted.
to play, hit me up on Twitter at Ryu Wilson. That's RYU Wilson. Triton.
Yeah, you can find me mostly on Twitter under Triton
Fuck you,
Please.
Mana.
Or Please being PLZ.
Get
How about you,
fucked.
Mana?
You can find me here. Since I'm big picture, this is actually my podcast. You can see me here all the time running it at Twitch.com/Hove76.
What?
What? Or you can find me at Twitch and Twitter, the Manigator. Maybe one day I'll actually be like consistent with wherever you can find me as well.
Probably not.
I know
Probably
where
not.
you can find me. You can find me in the theater watching
Oh my
was
god, the what?
Endgame.
The what? Did you do that on purpose?
No, he didn't. That's just how he says it.
What'd I say?
Theater. Instead of
Theater.
Tomato, Wilson, however you
I
want to say
thought you did that on purpose just to trigger.
Clearly, no, I didn't. It just proves how many problems I have with. You can also find Team Resolute on Twitter. You can find RezoCast at RezoCast on Twitter. Please come join us next week for a
Next
live
week, we're going to
podcast.
talk about when we all lost our virginity. Stay tuned.
We'll see about that. Until next time, y'all. GG.
GG's.
Bye.
Re-rees.